Jeez, come on. I'm looking
That
forward
should
to
be
it.
the link, given that this
Is
is the
it
one
is
that's
it
meant to be starting now.
is it gonna be like a premiere thing, or is it just
No,
is
it's
it
just gonna go up.
all right? No worries.
Premieres will make me less money,
Okay.
and give it to everyone all at once. So they can speed through it if they want to.
Okay.
Plus, I have a sponsor in the video, so I don't think people want to sit through that.
No worries. Have you got the link?
Yep, I got it.
Is the
I was
sponsor
gonna say, I think
GoDaddy Era?
What do you say,
Nah,
Suki?
it's a security company.
Suki, unmute yourself. Yeah.
It's windy over here, bro. That's why I keep on muting myself.
Ah, okay.
Why are
Okay, yeah.
you Why are you
that's why.
outside?
Because I'm on campus still. Like I can't just go indoor and just talk in front of a bunch of students.
You don't have like private rooms for like studying you can go to?
I mean, you have to reserve them. I didn't reserve one. I should have done better. I'll do
That's
that.
fair. That's fair. All right, guys. So we are actually live right now.
Okay, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see a really full locker room today. We got 5 of us in here right now, and there might actually be a few more coming through, but it's a great turnout. So we're gonna do some post-match analysis, you know, some locker room talk. I'm gonna speak about the latest Blue Lock chapter, as well as the latest episode of Nagi chapter, because Isagi's getting a lot of gas, and when Isagi gets gas, I'm happy. I think Wise is unhappy when Isagi gets gas.
Oh my god, don't get I'm gonna if I speak I'm in big trouble, big trouble. But no, it's not Isagi gas per se, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. All good.
Yeah, we'll get to it though. We'll get to it. But since we're all here, I'm gonna have everyone just introduce yourselves, going from left to right. So starting from Wise, and just introduce yourselves so that everyone knows who you are.
Okay, so I'm Wise, just a Frenchman. Used to make videos about Blue Lock, but I've kind of lost some steam. But I would recommend watching my videos because I think, how can I say, I really try to go in depth about Blue Lock more than just current chapters and really go into the philosophy of Blue Lock, etc. So give it a watch if you want, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Go on, Lexio.
I'm Lexio Blackmoon. I do content on Blue Lock. I do what if content. So doing some alternate stories based on some fun concepts. I try to make them fun, enjoyable, and a bit crazy.
Okay, and we got Arrows.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Arrow, also known as Arrow Assassin on YouTube and TikTok, and I make Blue Lock content, and I'm just very happy to be here. Thank you, Raito, for inviting me again. That's all I really gotta say.
Yeah, no worries, bro. Always welcome.
Go.
We got Suki.
Yeah, I'm Suki Pookie, guys. Similar to the Audis, man. I make Blue Lock content. I just talk football and TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I just be doing Blue Lock.
Nice one, guys. Nice one. Okay. And obviously I'm Raito 6. You all know me. Obviously this is the channel. And I I also do Blue Lock content, which is why we're here today, because we want to talk some Blue Lock. I want to get everyone's opinion, no matter how controversial or how out there they are. Every opinion's welcome. And yeah. So just to start off with, I just wanted to ask what you guys actually thought of this latest chapter of Blue Lock. Like, were did you expect what was gonna happen, or was it a bit slow? Because I thought we was gonna get to the point where Ness is about to shoot, or Ness has got the ball or whatnot. I didn't expect it, the bad luck, to be Shido. But what did you guys think of the chapter overall?
Well, I'll start since I'm on the left, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I thought the chapter was fine. I do have one problem with the official translation, mostly because of the way it portrays Ness's character. But we can get to that later. It's just that the quote is basically something along the lines of, "Oh yeah, time to move on from the me who hope to become the best with the world's best with Kaiser,"
Mm.
which is a sort of misunderstanding. Like I think it's the translation from the guy who makes the translations that has a bit of a different, like went for the wrong type of meaning based on what Ness's character is about. So I think most people will who actually care about Ness will have a bit of a problem with that quote, but we can get to that later. And overall, I'm not really that shocked by how the pacing was kind of not all over the place, but didn't really settle on anything, because that's just something that Kaneshiro has been milking for like the entire match, which is all about that stalemate between Kaiser, Isagi, and Rin,
Hmm.
where you can go, like, you can read the entire fucking match, and you'll see that at least like in 12 different chapters of the match, you'll always go back to that same status quo at the end, where it's or Isagi, like a final panel of Kaiser, Isagi, and Rin fighting for the ball or something. So I'm not really that shocked.
Yeah.
Is it like underwhelming? 100%. But is it something that's been there and you should have expected? 100% too. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the chapter overall.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. No worries. Anyone else wants to go?
I
I'll
mean,
go.
yeah, here, go ahead. I'll go after you. We'll just keep going. Let's
Um,
just go left to right from now on for when we're
that's
doing
what
stuff
I
like
was
Yeah, I
this.
think
thinking.
it's
Makes
good
life
that
easier.
way. Yeah, perfect.
So my thoughts were, overall the chapter was all right. I enjoyed it, but there's one part of it that I really didn't like. It starts out with Hiyori seeming like, "Oh, me and Karasu are on equal ground," and then all of a sudden it goes to like the next panel, and Hiyori just blitzes past Karasu with seemingly no struggle, and it's like Karasu's been defending. He's been a CDM. Like, how has Hiyori got past him that well? Like, Hiyori didn't even seem to break a sweat. I get Hiyori's good, but that was a bit, yeah, because it
Antagonized,
just
yeah.
seemed Karasu was completely destroyed in that instance. It wasn't even like Hiyori had broke past Karasu and Karasu was like on his tail. No, Karasu was just beat. I wouldn't necessarily call it Jay. I wouldn't necessarily call it a Hiyori ass pull. I just think Hiyori. I less so think it's a Hiyori ass pull, and I think it's more meant to be a Karasu fumble, which I don't like.
Totally agree on that. Yeah, 100%.
We-
Because I
Well,
definitely think Hiyori has the skill. Like, everything Hiyori does makes sense. I think it's more so the fact that Karasu wasn't on Hiyori's tail. It was Karasu was just sort of staggered there. That's what I didn't like.
yeah. I thought the clash would be a little bit more substantial as well. Like I thought they'd really go at it, and Hiyori would have to bust out a couple more skills and stuff. I did expect Hiyori to make the pass, but yeah, it was a little bit underwhelming.
Going from one panel of like me and you are equal, Karasu. You can't get the ball, but I can't get past you, and then Hiyori just blitzes Karasu in the next panel.
Yeah, I'll get to that because it's actually like really, like, in my opinion at least, it's really, really how can I say, a big showing of how Kaneshiro is currently writing the story in terms of like importance of characters, and how he sort of handles characters who could break the thing he's trying to portray by just literally like either like forgetting them, or outright just not including them, like the way that he's been writing Kunigami by just like outright making him nothing more than just a Kunigami defense tool, and not really developing on that, or like how Shido could be a great contender for a goal, but then he forces Kunigami. Like, he's just basically putting characters on the side when the importance of the character would make it hard for to write what he wants, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get to that later though, because I think it's something for later. But yeah, I totally agree with all that you said. Otherwise,
Okay, I cut out a little bit earlier. Did Eros? Did you speak?
No, I haven't said anything just yet.
What
You want me to
did you?
go?
Yeah, go on.
So I disagree with Lexio's point about the Karasu and Hiyori thing not making sense or being somewhat of an asshole. I know you didn't use the term specifically, but I know some people in the chat were also calling it an asshole. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
not
we can.
talking very loud.
Nice.
I'm reading through. Yeah, right. So I also sent you the official scans. They just dropped like 20 minutes ago, so I just sent them to you in the server. So you have those available to you. But looking at the matchup, it's not that Hiyori couldn't get past Karasu. It's pretty much that he was just waiting for both Rin and Kaiser to get into his range. We've seen that Hiyori has no problem sending passes past Karasu. He did this when Isagi scored the twin gun volley. Like, even with help, Karasu couldn't stop Hiyori from passing then, and there's no point in this that he could stop him now, just because he has metavision. And the whole thing is that despite what Hiyori can, Karasu doesn't exactly know what he's doing with metavision. He's doing it kind of like Nico did. When he first used it, it's all subconscious. So you can't tell when to turn it on and when to turn it off. And he's not even that good. Like, he couldn't even see what Yukimiya was planning to do. And Yukimiya broke past him with Karasu using metavision. So the whole point of the matchup with Karasu here was, okay, if I can just get past him, they're likely already going to be in my range. And like, Hiyori did a whole back step and then started went to the right and then started moving forward. Karasu, all he had to do was take a step left, and he's still on him. Like, he didn't move really anywhere.
Yeah.
And at the translations, Hiyori literally says, "Just try to steal it. They're inside my range now." So it's all about the timing. He doesn't care about Karasu marking him. He literally says, "If you can't take the ball from me now, you will not stop me. If you can't take the ball from me before I pass, you're not stopping the pass no matter what." And with the stop and boost, all Hiyori is doing is kind of doing Yukimiya's Loboba. He's chipping the ball onto his foot and sending it forward, and then he's just bootleg speed rushing down the field. Like, it's not a hard thing to do. And the distance between the two characters isn't that far. Like, Karasu is still next to him. It's just that moment of, like, as soon as Karasu gets behind Hiyori or just is, like, right next to him, he's not stopping him from passing. Like, even on the page where Hiyori hits the pass, Karasu does manage to keep up, but he can't stop him from passing. Karasu just couldn't take the ball from him. And that's his fault. And he's never been able to do it anyways.
Yeah,
So
can I?
But that's not really the point.
The whole
that
point was
not really the point we were trying to highlight. Yeah.
What was your argument?
Go for it.
My argument wasn't that it was a Hiyori ass-ball, because I said this to someone in chat. Hiyori doing that makes sense. Hiyori can do that. That's a full. I think it's a Karasu fumble. The fact he wasn't able to, I guess, keep up a bit more with what Hiyori was doing, because he's shown to have, like, he should have been able to. Of course, he wasn't stopping it, but it's more so the fact that he wasn't more on Hiyori, making the pass a little more difficult. That was,
you didn't see struggle,
because Hiyori seemed to make it with ease.
Exactly.
But that just goes down to a skill issue for Karasu. It's not really like, because he's never done anything like that.
But the problem...
No, that's what I'm saying. It was a Karasu fumble.
Yeah.
And
no,
I
I
don't like the
understand
fact
that.
It was a
But
Karasu
the
fumble.
argument is that, like, it's a fumble in the sense of he could have done otherwise.
The part that really makes it hard. But the thing isn't that, like, if it was just that, there would be no problem. The problem is that it was hyped up as the challenge for Hiyori to create the new egotist hero, right? That was the setup we were given the chapter prior. So that's why it feels so bad, right? Because it was a setup that was put in the final pages of the chapter prior, where you had like 2 or 3 pages dedicated to it, where the author really try to hype it up to make it a big part of the next chapter. So for it to go so easily, to not really see Hiyori struggle at all, just makes it seem like the chapter prior, the way it was set up, just didn't really matter, right? Because Hiyori, and that's the thing, right? Hiyori's talk during that chapter prior was, if I can't get past him, I can't create the new egotistic hero. So you would expect a certain amount of struggle, right? You would at least expect something where it would seem like a challenge for Hiyori to create that new egotistic hero because of the way he would make the pass, etc. Since, like, again, it's portrayed as striker. So for it to then be shown without really Hiyori breaking a sweat, it just feels bad. Really, it just feels bad. That's the whole argument. It's not that Karasu wasn't good enough or whatever. It's just in terms of narrative value, it doesn't feel satisfying at all for the chapter before to set it up as that big, huge duel to create to the final obstacle before creating the new egotistic hero, to then be thrown, to then have no difficulty at all. You don't get the same amount of difficulty that you did get when how can I say, you had the Rin and Sai chapter, right? Because with the Rin and Sai duel, at least you really felt like it was hard. You had like the entire chapter dedicated to it, etc. So that's basically it. That's really it.
Can I refute that for a second? So the whole point wasn't a strength challenge of going against Karasu. It was an ego challenge. It was a challenge of Hiyori's ego. When he goes to face Karasu in the official translations, Karasu says, someone sure is getting fired up. You want to go? He says, showing up now. Hiyori says, showing up now, you're in my way. He got me excited about my own ego. If I don't surpass Karasu, a new egoist can't be born. It's not in the perspective of him being like, if I don't surpass him in terms of strength or overall ability, it's just a challenge of ego.
Yeah, if I don't get past
Hiyori
him,
in the last,
right, but
Hiyori in the last game, like if you put Hiyori against Karasu, even back before this, Hiyori and them are still going to be about even.
But it's that's not really the problem. It's not really in terms of, like, again, we're not talking about terms of skills. We're just talking about how it was portrayed and set up, and then how it was executed. Because
how
again,
it was portrayed and set up was as a challenge of Hiyori's ego, and Hiyori had already surpassed that challenge of ego, which is why Karasu was no challenge to him.
Ego challenge, ego challenge. But if it was purely about ego challenge, you wouldn't really get how can I say, the whole paneling of them go. Like, let me go directly on the chapter, really to go
I'm looking at it too.
What you're saying. But
the thing
to say again, it's about
isn't
ego,
that,
but go for it.
My point isn't that I think it shouldn't have happened how it did. I think it happened correctly. My point is, I would have liked it if there was a little more focus on it. I would have preferred if they had maybe one or two more panels of Hiyori and Karasu sort of slinging shit at each other before Hiyori blitzed him. That's my point. It just sort
I think
of
that would
happened
just come down to overhyping Karasu, though. Like, Hiyori, in terms of Karasu, is still the better player. In terms of anything they can provide to the team, Hiyori is better. But giving that extra length is trying to validate that Karasu is higher than he is. Like, Hiyori is good, I guess now, he wasn't before the Ubers game, but I guess now he's pretty damn good at dribbling. And Karasu, when it comes to defense, is only somewhat decent when he's pressing someone or working with someone. If he's by himself, he usually doesn't win 1v1s anymore. Like, after third selection, Karasu, I'm pretty sure, hasn't really won a dedicated 1v1 matchup against anybody. As far as I can think, he hasn't won a single 1v1 matchup against someone.
I feel like he did against, like, Sendo in the U20.
Nah, it wasn't. It was Nico against Sendo. Karasu had 3 main interactions in the game. He linked up with Atoya and Shigiri. He then, I'm not counting it as a loss to him, but he went to shoot, Sai blocked him. That's the completion of the first play. So I don't really count that as a full, 2 losses. It's still, he linked up with them. And it didn't go anywhere. So I still consider that as not a win. He then matched up against Sai, to stall for time, which he didn't do anything in particular. He was just an extra body. You could have put Bachata there, one of the players with some of the worst defense skills on the team, And he would have done the
Eh.
exact same thing Karasu did there.
Nah,
Yeah,
nah, I don't
100%.
agree with that. Mostly because we literally saw Sai like cooking Isagi and Bachira 2v1 with ease. So
I'll
just
show you
for
the
that
panel.
argument.
I'll
Here's
show
the
you the
thing,
panel.
actually.
He didn't move any. Karasu just sat there as a
No, but
warm body.
and
He
I'm
didn't
telling
move-
Okay,
he
you,
didn't
if you
stop him
put
at
someone
all.
else as a warm
I've got an
body,
idea. I've got an
Yeah.
idea. Why don't we ask Raito and Suki their opinions on the Hiyori and Thingy clash,
Yeah, they can
and then
go
we
for
get
it.
a better picture? Because if
And then we'll
everyone's
debate this
agreeing,
again.
yeah,
And
if
then we'll
everyone's
debate this.
agreeing against Aero, I think we can safely say it's
You guys
probably
just
just
aren't as
an,
cultured as me.
Well,
it's from just Aero being a bit more of a Hiyori glazer.
Don't
Oi,
say.
oi,
Don't
oi.
you
I'm
dare
joking.
say the W word. I'm not wrong. Don't
Alright,
you say that. I
Oh
don't
my
like that.
Suki,
god.
Honestly, no,
Suki,
Aero.
do you want to
Honestly,
go first? You want to go first?
I think.
What are we doing again?
Wait, can you guys not hear them talking?
Well, no, we can hear you.
Who,
It was-
Tsuki?
Yeah,
You
I'm
guys can
here.
hear them talking fully, right?
Yeah,
Tsuki, no.
Can you guys hear
Suki,
me?
I can
yeah,
hear
I can
everyone.
hear you.
Suki,
Oh.
could
No,
you hear them
hearing-wise.
talking before?
Yeah, I could hear everyone. I just kind of
Okay.
I got lost in the zone. You guys were.
There was a lot of overlap before of people saying like, oh, "Wait, are they talking?" Like it was before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
basically,
Leo was in, but I think he couldn't hear us. I told him to
Yeah.
rejoin. But
Leo's
yeah,
gotta get his
Suki.
stuff fixed if he's gonna try to do these things. He's had so many issues with this crap.
Suki, right? So we was talking about the clash between Hiyori and Karasu. What do you think? How do you think that went? Like, did it meet your expectations or what?
I would have liked a bit more, but here's the problem. It's Hiyori saying he needs to surpass Karasu is not a feat of strength. Because physically, Hiyori has more gifted abilities than Karasu himself. Even Karasu states that in the novels. It's just his mindset was never there. Okay,
I'm sorry, Suki. How many times have we tried to get you on my own podcast and your shit keeps bugging? How many
No,
times
that
have we
was
tried to do
Leo.
this?
That was Leo.
Yeah, Leo. How many times have we tried to get Leo on these things? That's what I thought.
I want to clarify. Exactly what Suki is saying right now is what I think. I'm just bad at phrasing.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
on,
at
Suki.
the end of
Finish
the day,
it.
like
Fraser,
it's
bad
not about
phrase.
the outcome. It's not about the outcome. It's just about the presentation of it. Just a few lines of Isagi being like showing a challenge of sort. That's all. That's all that we're talking about, really. Because you can't
I'm not
just
even
spend
fussed about
3
showing a
pages on it.
challenge. I'm just fussed about seeing a bit more of an interaction between them. But
Yeah,
then
really,
again,
that's it.
I said on
Anything.
the last stream, and I'll say it again on this stream, I care a lot about seeing interactions between characters. That's my
Mhm.
favorite part of the manga.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I feel game happened when like Green tapped into his flow state before, and then they had the small like couple page matchup between the two. Like, sure, it was hyped up at the end, but it wasn't supposed to go into a full on matchup. It's leading to the end of the game, and at this point, Hiyori is by far better than Karasu in terms of overall skills, and his ego also matches exactly what Karasu is. His entire presence there was to be like, all right, you think you can do this? All right, show me that you can position yourself and do the things that someone who truly wants to can achieve. That's why he's not fully pressing him here. He's not even challenging him in the sake of like, I'm going to win the ball. He's just challenging him as an individual, someone who used to play with him when he knew he was at his lowest when he was playing the sport. He's challenging him as a friend.
Yeah.
Like, I get the whole thing of wanting to win, but you're addressing it from the concept of, oh, he's wanting to do it for the concept of winning. Oh, he should have pressed him so we could win the play, so they could be more interested, so we could try and win the play. But it was just a challenge to him as a friend. Like, if you look at it like
Yeah, I know.
that, the entire shortness of the chapter makes sense. Also, this is not related. I just think it's really cool that Hiyori's stop and boost, the aura is his glass shards take on the appearance of Loki's Godspeed when he does the stop and boost. I
Oh,
think it was
really?
really cool. Yeah,
I
go
need to see
to
that.
go to the latest chapter. I'll send it in the
Yeah,
server.
I've got it. You already
Yeah,
sent it,
no,
innit?
what's it called? No, I agree with what you're saying, Arrow. I just would have preferred not even more panels, just maybe 1 or 2 more speech bubbles between them.
Can I ask
That's
why?
really it.
What
That's
1 or 2
really
more
it.
speech bubbles really would have done? Can I ask? Like,
It would have
why would those?
It wouldn't have done
made it
anything
more of a
particularly amazing. I just want to see a bit more interaction between the two, because I feel like it could be interesting.
Mm.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not asking for much here because just
Well, you don't get
it would have given. Okay, but chill out first. It would have given way more depth to their duel instead of just because you say first off, oh, it's about ego, but we then
Mhm.
don't see the actual ego. We only see the technical side of things. So if you want to say, oh, it's about Hiyori's ego and Karasu's ego, then continue on that direction and truly show their clash of ego here instead of just
I
going
think
from its ego to then technical side, right?
But
I
then,
think the whole clash of ego was shown when Hiyori literally just stared straight at Karasu and blitzed immediately past him without any belief that Karasu could stop him.
that's what I
That
Yeah.
thought
was
the ego bit was.
ego.
Yeah.
Because his whole ego
Yeah,
before
but
was, you've arrived at the perfect spot that someone fired up would want to. Oh, you're here, Hiyori? Show me how fired up you really are. He immediately blitzes him, which was his whole development in the previous one, revitalizing and reawakening his ego. He just blitzed the Karasu, who's like, yo, try and show me how good you are. Like, it's the whole, it also calls back to, like, the Sai and Rin matchup in the U20 game. Like, Sai blitzed Rin. Like, he just wanted to see where Rin's current mindset was at. And he just immediately shot past him. This is just on the opposite end. Karasu wanted to see where his mindset's at, and Hiyori just blitzed past his expectations. That's the whole thing.
okay. Now honestly, let's just move on because I don't think we'll agree. So
No,
let's
yeah.
just move on and go to another topic.
Right. All right. Cool. So obviously
Kind of kill
at
each other out
the
here.
sorry, what'd you say, Suki?
I said, y'all try to kill each other
Oh my
out
god, I
here.
can't
It's
hear you,
crazy.
Suki.
I love it, man. I'm loving this. Um. Right. So obviously at the end of the match, um, it talks about a new, who's going to be the new hero, and we have a panel where we see close-ups of Rin, Kaiser, and Isagi all locked in on the loose ball. And then just slightly to the right, we see someone coming in. Now, at first, I thought it was Ness, but people were telling me it's Yukimiya.
Yeah, it's
W-
Yuki.
Is it Yukimiya?
Yeah, it is. You can see the glasses clearly.
Oh man, I thought it was Ness, bro. Oh man.
No. It's clearly Yukimiya.
Ah, right. So yeah, that's gonna kill. Cause I thought, all right, cool. They're all locked in, but Ness is gonna be the one to get the ball. And like I said last time, I think Ness is gonna try and shoot. What do you guys think? So now that it looks like it's Yukimiya coming in, do you think he's gonna
Can
get
I
the ball or what?
can I quickly ask where does it actually say about new hero in the latest chapter?
I thought
It's just the title of the next chapter. Next chapter's title
Oh,
is
is
Birth of
it?
the New Hero.
I don't check the titles of the next chapter. That'll be why.
Yeah. Doesn't say it in here, but it said it in the... Like, for some reason, the official scans here don't have the chapter, because these official scans are supposed to be for the volume, so they won't mention that ending tagline that you'll see in, like, the fan scans. And, like, the fan scans and the officials are so different. Like, when Bachata scored his B shot, in the non-officials, the fan scans, it's just Bachata, right? But
Mhm.
in the actual official releases that go in the manga, there's a wasp behind Bachata, because
Really?
the officials are ones that are made, like the leaks are made for like just people to read in like the magazine, right? But the officials are ones that the mangaka is taking extra time to go in and add stuff or change stuff or fix stuff up. Because
Okay.
what we're seeing in the officials are made for volumes, for the volume releases. So he'll go in and he'll touch up stuff. It's something with other manga like JJK. Like when JJK was releasing their chapters, it dropped, and then you'll compare it to like the officials a couple months later, and you'll see the drastic increase in art quality and
Mhm.
maybe some alterations to dialogue, or even just the visual might look somewhat different,
Yeah, and
or they'll add something
Yeah,
or
that
remove
makes
something.
sense.
Because there's a lot of time in between for the volumes to drop. And because this is made for a volume, you're not gonna have like the to be continued in the next chapter at the end of every chapter like you would in the
Yeah.
magazine releases. So that's just
Can
kind of like
I
the whole thing for
can
that.
I give a crazy theory about it then?
Sure. What are we gonna say? No.
I don't believe that the next chapter's title, New Hero, is talking about the person who's going to get the ball.
Who do you think it's
No, no,
implying
no.
then?
New
I
Heroes
think
is
it's
gonna be the one that scores, surely.
Yeah, it has to be.
no, I think it's going to be about the person who, in this latest chapter, just got called a hero and who used to have the title of the superhero. I think
Oh
the next
my
chapter
god.
could. I look.
Man.
I know what you're saying. I don't think Kunigami's going to score, but I think this next chapter could be some sort of zoom in focus on Kunigami. Maybe a flashback to the wild card as he assists a goal or something. Like as he assists Ness potentially. I don't know. But given the fact that A, he used to have the title of the superhero, B, if you look at this latest chapter, I'm 99% sure, if I've not misread something, the last word spoken was Isagi calling Kunigami a hero.
It was.
So I feel like the new hero could be something to do with Kunigami reawakening into his hero mentality. But once again, that is an out there theory, and even I know that's out there.
Can
That
I
is
tell you
just
why that's wrong? Or why it's
you can
likely
if you want.
wrong? Ego says, chapter 285, now it's time for the birth of a new egoist hero. And sure, he's implying Rin, Kaiser, and Isagi for this moment. He's talking about the concept of whoever scores the final goal will be considered to be the new egoist hero.
Yeah,
And
I think
it's like the whole thing was for facilitating rapid evolution. Took you long enough to realize this geniuses. What I wanted was to injection of fire we'd get when you idiot masters with the world's biggest egos finally got serious. This allowed for Rin, Itoshi, and Yoichi Izuki to acquire mindsets and techniques to survive in that atmosphere of madness. Now these seeds of evolution will have to prove their originality to the world. Now it's time for the birth of a new egoist hero.
yeah.
So if
So
there isn't a goal scored next chapter, I riot. I like
yeah, I think it's definitely setting up for for a goal scorer. Now the thing is
I think
we know that currently Isagi is Blue Lock's hero, and the chapter is called a new hero. So does that mean that Isagi won't be the one to score, or can Isagi still be the one to score and still be a new hero?
I don't think he scores. I mean, you're wise. You go. You're leftist, or you're on the left of us all.
What do you think, Wise?
Okay, so I ain't gonna lie, when it comes to predictions like these, I'm just not interested at all currently. Mostly because I think, and it's my take, we can discuss that on another stream or later down the road, but I just think that most of the time, Kaneshiro's setups and general execution doesn't really follow through. And whatever he means by new egotistic hero really doesn't matter because he has already went through with some setups that he then gave up on. And so whatever the new egotistic hero means, I'll be honest, it won't really matter. It won't really matter because the thing is, we talk about new egotistic hero, but we have never really defined it. And that was what you guys were debating. We have never even the story has never defined what exactly is a new egotistic hero. What does it mean to be the new egotistic hero, the one who creates a new era, etc. And even what a new era is, because it talked about like the path of evolution, etc. But then the problem is when Hiyori talks about like, oh yeah, Kaiser and Isagi are creating a new, how can I say, a new era of soccer or football. Right after that, you get them. You see them getting blocked immediately right after. So I don't. I'm not really interested in that. So I'll let you guys talk about it. But again, mostly because whatever it means, it hasn't been defined. And whenever we almost got to see it being defined, we didn't really get to see it to its full extent. Because whenever anything close to originality, or rather like the new era being created, was near us, we didn't really get to see what even that new era looked like, because it immediately got stopped. For Kaiser and Isagi, we immediately got to see it stopped, and for how could I say? And for Rin, we also got to see it stopped. So the new egotistic hero, I just don't really, how can I say? I'm not really interested in that topic, personally, at least, since again it's not been defined. We don't really know what it is. It's about a new superstar, but there's already been new superstars, etc. It's just such a weird concept in terms of how it has been handled that I don't really. Yeah, I'll let you guys talk about it.
Okay, go on, Eros.
So before I explain my point, Wise, you said that Kanashiro and Nomura backed out of some ideas that they were trying to develop. Can you give me some examples? Just so I have an idea in my head of like what you would consider like, oh, they tried something and they failed, or they gave
Of
up.
setups that they of setups that they went for, but then didn't go through with, or that they just gave up on.
Either or, both work. Like, give me one of each.
Okay,
I guess
so
would
the
be.
best example to see it is simple. We had first the self and world type thing, which then got developed with the freedom and restriction type. So we got a whole quadrant of the ego types. But then when the transition was made to the genius and talented learner thing, we never got an actual transition for the freedom and restriction types into then the talented learner and how can I say, the genius concept. We never got a full transition. We never got, because how can I say, you would expect the whole quadrant to then be translated into that new genius and talented learner thing, and we just never got to see it. And so for now, for example, you have the whole and that's where there's a sort of a confusion, and I've seen people fall into that conclusion because it hasn't been translated well enough.
Can I
Yeah, go
make
for
an
it, Lexio.
interrupt quickly? I think that's because the talented learner and genius thing is separate to ego. Because the whole ego quadrant thing is about their types of ego, whereas the genius and talented learner is more about their specific skill. Genius are those with
And
innate skills who can harness them, like prodigies, and
Talented
talented learners
learners,
are those who
I'll
geniuses,
counter
learn to
that.
be
I'll
those
counter
affect
that
playstyles though.
directly by
Sorry, go ahead.
it does affect how can I say? Okay, sorry, I read something funny. Alex, you're one dumbass. I'll just say that. To get back into it, no, the problem is that the manga literally grows into the fact that how can I say? At the end of the day, we know about ego types, etc. But ego types is something that was then developed. But at the end of the day, it's about peak performance and how one can attain peak performance. And so the manga literally tells it to you that how can I say? I'll find the panels, but literally tells you that self type is basically just genius, and the talented learner is world type. It literally outright says that it's the same thing. So what? It's basically a translation, a sort of a rebranding of the concept. So I'll send the panels. It's not like Loki or Rin's normal abnormal intuitive strength. He's the type who makes plans around what the world regards as the ultimate way. The world, are those the same things? The self and world style ego types are theorized. The world style ego type finds it easier to perform in relation to the world's value and meaning, and the talented learners faces their opponents with logic. Are those two concepts the same thing? They're the same thing. At least, I mean, you can then debate about, it's Isagi saying that, but not Ego Jinpachi, etc. But still, at the end of the day, with what we were given,
once again, can you
Isagi.
quickly just what chapter was that?
I'll send you the panels,
It's
and it was chapter
281, 281,
282,
and 282.
The panels.
Here's the thing, though.
282,
about the whole
the
thing.
exact panels, and let me send you the exact panels, and those are the same thing. And I remember, I immediately said it on my server and stuff like that. those are just rebrands.
I disagree with
the
you.
Okay, then tell me how, because the manga literally says it. They're the same thing. Those
Okay,
two concepts are the same thing. So tell me about it.
So when it comes to geniuses and talent, so when it comes to the classification of geniuses and talented learners, that applies to their play style, right? So do you play like a genius or do you play like a talented learner? Like Isagi himself said he was trying to play like a genius when in actuality he is a talented learner. And when he goes through the description of
Okay, I
what it
just
means,
want to. Okay, wait. Before this, I just want to find me the panel where Isagi says he was trying to play like a genius, because that's important to me. Because I see a
yeah.
lot
Okay,
of.
can I
Find
quickly
me the
say,
one panel he's
Mhm.
trying, like he says it himself. I was trying to play like a genius.
What is a genius
Because what
anyways?
he
Analyze
says
it.
actually is I've always fought as a talented learner. So just find me the one panel where he says I've tried to play as a genius, etc. He always fought as a talented learner.
Wasn't it ego that said don't try and
Yeah,
don't
it
try and
was
be a
Ego that
genius?
said this. It was Ego
But
that
he
said
said
this,
he was
but
trying to
did
play like
Isagi
a genius
ever
before he
say
figured it
this?
out, though.
Oh, I was trying to play like a genius, and that's the reason I wasn't doing well, etc., etc. Because that's my problem, and that's why I say that those setups are really badly handled, because there are misconceptions about it that just come from the fact that the author hasn't really done the translation, the transition from one concept to another properly enough, and has just went with a sort of lazy way of going about it, and that's how people then start getting like misunderstandings. Because what Isagi actually did, all that he did, he always fought as a talented learner, and then he realized because he was a talented learner, he thought, oh, talented learners are lower than geniuses. But then because he
Okay,
realized, oh, Kaiser is a talented learner, and Kaiser is actually fighting against geniuses, that means geniuses and talented learners are on the same scale. And now I gotta do the same as Kaiser, which is dropping. If I want to truly reach my peak, I gotta do the same as Kaiser, which is dropping my obsessions the same way that he did. But at no point in the story has he said, "Oh, I was trying to fight as a genius." He has never ever fought as a genius, and even the one time offensively, because this is important. The one time we saw Isagi
why?
fighting offensively to try to score after the whole genius and talented learner thing, he was literally trying to play around Kaiser's shot with logic. So that's just something I want to set
Guys,
straight. Yeah.
it was literally a case of, um, he said that Kaiser had been playing like a genius, and then he figured out how to become the peak of talented learner by mimicking the change Kaiser made to become a talented learner. Surely that means he was playing as a genius.
It
Or am I
absolutely doesn't,
misinterpreting
and
that?
that's what I'm saying. He absolutely never said that, or he
He
said,
never
"Oh,
said
I
what?
was." The problem is, okay, let me go for it clearly. The problem is, Isagi says I was trying to use the same insane methods as the geniuses, but I'm not one of them. But show me at any one point where Isagi has truly went for the same methods as a genius. Show me one example where Isagi has truly went to fight as a genius, where like he tried to do something out of nowhere without using logic. Show me one moment in this match where Isagi truly fought as a genius, in the sense of not trying to use logic and just trying to ad lib it on the moment and etc.
Wouldn't the his goal count the
The two gun
two gun?
volley. But not really, because again, the two gun volley came from literally, like he literally said it before that. In the chapter prior in 281. What did he say? Uh,
The talented learners have
that
been
and that
used
weapon
by
and that
an
moment, even
nostalgic
and the
thing.
two gun direction. I'll show the panel. I'll send it in the chat.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's not the right.
okay, okay.
And one, one
So
sec
So
one
wait. He
quick.
says, I'd analyze somebody's talent, copy it, and make my own arrangement based on predictions I've stolen from everyone else and still barely scraped by. I don't have enough originality to create something from zero. I'm a genuine second-rate talented learner. And even the two-gun volley was included in that panel, the two-gun direct shot, if you want to be specific. So again, I'm asking you, show me one panel where Isagi has truly tried to play as a genius, not prove himself as a genius, because at that point, that concept of genius and talented learner wasn't really developed in his mind. Show me one moment where Isagi truly fought as a genius and didn't use logic.
Can I go through this? I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say I was using the other translations that I had read prior. I'm looking at it now. You are right that he hasn't specifically said. However, let me finish the case I was trying to make before I
go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Talented learners and geniuses revolves around their play style, right? You agree with this? Like, if it revolves around play style, Isagi can't play like a genius because he plays always.
Yeah, ego types and no, but it's not about play style. It's about peak performance. A genius can't show his peak performance while trying to play using logic. Meanwhile, a talented learner can't show his peak performance while using his own emotions, etc., which is the same as what the ego types were about. It's not about playstyle, it's about peak performance and how to show one's peak performance.
So is your issue that we threw away the titles of self and world style? Is that what your issue with?
No, my issue comes in the fact that the restriction and freedom parts of the quadrant about the ego types doesn't have any sort of transition into then the genius and world style, and you can then see how that concept has then been totally dropped because of the fact that for example, if you analyze current plays via the ego types of freedom and restriction, what Kaiser is currently going through in terms of evolution, etc., he's basically playing using freedom. He's not playing against any type of restriction. And generally, he is like the sort of playstyle, even the sort of dual run, like the cross run that he's doing with Isagi. It's not about restriction. He's literally syncing up with Isagi and doing whatever he feels is best. And he's not trying to break away from a challenge. He's literally living his own challenge, like creating his own plays, etc., using whatever he feels is best. And so that's where I'm saying that there has been a total, the authors have totally given up on that concept because you just don't see it anymore, the freedom and restriction aspects of ego types. You don't see it translated, you don't see it transitioned into the genius and talented learner thing. And even if you analyze it through those lenses, you just don't see it again. It's just totally, it even goes in certain cases against that thing. And that's where like I'm saying, basically, I was basically saying this, where the authors have given up on certain setups. And so yeah, that's the best showing of it, where you just don't see that freedom and restriction aspect, even though the self and world thing have them been transitioned into the genius and talented learner thing. But the other aspect of that quadrant just have been totally forgotten and not used anymore. And if you analyze the story through those two lenses, you just see that it doesn't really hold the same how can I say? It isn't as constantly used, etc. So yeah, that's basically the point. I'm done there.
I think it's just because there is no evolution for the freedom and restriction. They are literally freedom and restriction. The self-style and world style have become talented learner and genius, whereas they're still freedom and restriction. You can have geniuses who play the freestyle and or who have freedom style egos, should I say, and you can have genius who have restrictive egos. It's not.
I agree. It's just, and sorry to cut
you off. It's not that he's left the setup. It's the fact the setup's been used, it's been done, and it still exists within the world. It's just there's not another thing he needs to develop with it.
Yeah, there's
unlike the genius and talented learner. Am I
but
crazy?
Again,
Or am I crazy?
You're asking me?
Yeah, you seem to know the most.
Here's the thing, though. We transition so much into other things that we can't finish one point. So I'll say this, right? Let me get the full point out. talented learners and geniuses applies to the play style that the players choose to use, right? So anyone who decides to go, like the panels say, I will go grab the official panel in chapter 281, I believe, is the
I've got it.
description that Ego gives, right? Though talented learners are those who can discover the seeds created of geniuses and comprehend their worth and communicate it to the world. But they also apply and compete through actions of logic and adaptation, right? While geniuses are just pure natural impulses, physical abilities, what they want to achieve, right?
Mhm.
What they themselves can do to make themselves for the best versus talented learners doing what the world does, right? The world and the self thing, it's not really discarded. It's just more improved upon with more.
That's why I talk about it. And sorry to cut you off. It's just that I totally agree with that. And that's why I say that this part is basically just a sort of rebrand. It's an evolution. It's a transition. So
But that's not a bad
I
thing.
totally agree.
But that's not a bad thing. Like you're
I'm not
calling
saying
it.
I'm not again. That's
You
not
called
my
it.
point.
You call it a point that he just stopped or disregarded or anything.
And that's
If he's
not
improving
my
upon
point. That's not my point because you're looking at only the self and the world aspect of the ego types. I'm not
That's
talking
what
about
you were
those
talking
two.
about.
I'm talking about the freedom and restriction. And I'm
Yes,
saying that
I'm
those
getting there.
two things, the freedom and restriction, those two things have gotten no transition into then those concepts, and that those two concepts have been totally forgotten in the sense that you can now analyze certain current
Wise.
plays. You can analyze current plays that are happening right now through those lenses and see that it doesn't really make sense, or rather than doesn't make sense, it just doesn't follow the continuity that has been given to those concepts in the sense that
Wise. You cut him off.
Huh? I'm cutting off?
You cut Arrow off when he was about to explain that part of what he was saying. You didn't let
Okay,
him
then.
finish.
Oh, my bad. Go for it.
You're good. But
This
like
girl
the
had
whole
something
thing.
to do, bro.
Wait, what's up?
Nafi, I was saying something naughty.
So can you watch your mouth? Watch your mouth. No, but anyway, the whole thing is that yeah, the talented learner and thing can get expanded upon, but it's still like the world style. It's genius. You don't have a genius ego. You don't have a talented learner ego. You have a talented learner playstyle. You have a genius playstyle, but you have a self-style ego that links to your playstyle because again, your mindset and how you play, they're going to be somewhat related, right? But in terms of freedom and restriction, those are not related to you. Those are related to the environment. Do you thrive in an environment of freedom or an environment of restriction, right? And to say that Kaiser can't thrive in freedom doesn't make sense. He can evolve thanks to restriction, which is what happened with Kiora and Ness and Isagi, all kind of putting Kaiser into that space of needing that restriction to then help him evolve and such. But Kaiser has been playing like a freedom related, pretty much a freedom related talented learner slash genius. You can argue either of them, mostly talented learner, but he's been playing like a freedom based character for over 6 years. To say he can't play in that style or that he is now doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
And
He's
that's
done it
not
for
what I'm
6
arguing. And
years.
that's not what I'm arguing because what I'm arguing right now, and that's not what I'm arguing. You're totally right in that. The problem is the current setup is that Kaiser and Isagi are supposed to become the optimal goal machines to show the peak performance by using whatever is possible, whatever is best. That's the current setup, right? They're supposed to become optimal goal machines. They're supposed to show their peak performance. And now we get into the fact that the Kaiser current peak performance is much more one of freedom than it is restriction. And so I'm not arguing that Kaiser can't evolve in freedom. That's how he got there in the first place, via playing with Nez, via having freedom to do whatever he wanted. I'm just saying that the last time we saw the restriction and freedom types, Kaiser was said to thrive, to show his peak performance, in restriction environment, in a restriction type environment, where he basically has to, how can I say, free himself of restraint, and basically where he needs to have an obstacle in front of him and then to beat through it through his own willpower, etc., etc. And now we're having a setup where Kaiser and Isagi are supposed to be the optimal goal machines, aka to show their peak performance. And Kaiser's peak performance currently relates way more to a freedom type of peak performance, where he thrives in doing the ideas that how could I say, that he wants, where he chooses whatever is best, and even finding pleasure in the act of choosing whatever he feels is best. In literally the way that he said it, that's it, Yoichi, with that cross run, you'll confuse Rinzai and disrupt his field of vision. The best thing we can do is head toward the goal and force him into choosing one of us to destroy. Luck will come to whoever he doesn't choose, yada, yada, yada. We're feeling the same conclusions even without words. We're thinking on the same level. You're right in the ideal spot. It's fascinating and fun. So I'm arguing that Kaiser's current peak performance, which is what it is, it's supposed to be the best that they can do currently, as he says himself. The best thing we can do. His peak performance is one related to freedom, compared to what before was a peak performance related to restriction. And so that's where I'm saying that the offer has basically given up on the idea of has not went through with transitioning that idea of freedom and restriction, and has just basically given up on the idea and even broken the continuity of it by showing us one peak performance of Kaiser, which is about restriction, and then now currently his peak performance is about freedom. So there's just
Can I
a
quickly
clear
say
disconnect.
Okay, listen.
Wait, let Arrows go,
Go
and
for
then
it, Arrow.
and then Lexio, you can
Okay.
go.
I mentioned before that Kaiser been playing 6 years as a freedom type player. This is important, right? While Kaiser's peak performance does exist in restriction, right? The most optimal way for them to score a goal, throwing away all of their personal fixations, is by forcing Kaiser to dive into the freedom. And even then, if you want to argue that this situation is freedom for him, it's still somewhat restriction. At the start of the chapter, he was literally being pressed by Rin right there. When it comes to Kaiser in terms of restriction, he literally needs to link up with Isagi on numerous occasions to dive into that restriction. Right after he scored his Magnus goal, I believe it was chapter 270 or something related around
77.
that.
Isagi, 277.
Yeah. Isagi rushes directly towards Kaiser, right? So they're right next to each other. And actually it was I think it might have been 269. 269 maybe?
Oh, we're
No,
talking about that chapter. That's 269 or 70. No, it's 69.
269.
269.
Green, he's trying to catch up to them, but Isagi rushes right next to Kaiser. So they're right next to each other, putting Kaiser in the freedom, right? That he doesn't thrive in entirely. He still can work there, but his best is outside of it. Kaiser then finds a good thing and runs away from it. Isagi is then trailing him, and then they branch off. Kaiser playing in restriction doesn't necessarily mean he always has to have someone on him. It just means that at some point he needs to branch out to assert himself. And by doing a cross run with Isagi, he's pretty much doing the same thing he did right here at the in chapter 269. It's just the reverse. Isagi dove Kaiser into freedom so that he could break away. He chased Kaiser into restriction to then break away into freedom. Kaiser is now trailing Isagi into freedom to then break away from him into restriction. And even in that case of you still want to argue that's freedom, the logic of Kaiser and Isagi throwing themselves away for the sake of scoring goals would also have to throw away the concept of their individual peak performance for what comes at the sake of win a game. So Kaiser would have to sacrifice going into that restriction to still be in the freedom, but still manage to score. Sure, it would be at his peak performance, but the fact that he's still managing to score is another somewhat form of his peak performance. He's still doing what he needs to, what talented learners do, following the logic to win. So despite what you want to argue of Kaiser still being kind of in the freedom, they kind of threw it away, he's doing the opposite. He's doing just the reverse thing Isagi did, and then he's diving into freedom, or he's diving into restriction to score a goal. And if you don't believe that, The other argument comes up that disproves that point. Like, it still is relevant and it can't be expanded upon because it's just environmental related, not character related. You either have a free environment or a restrictive one. You can adjust your definition of your ego, but the environment is the environment. You got pressure, you don't. You can't get any more or less.
I'll just counter one thing. You said that basically, if I putting in, because it can be probably a lot of how can I say, mumble jumble, and it can be confusing for others. But you basically said Isagi comes into Kaiser and forces him into freedom into 269. But he literally says it. Go ahead and show me your optimal escape from this restriction. So he's not forcing Isagi into freedom. He's literally forcing him into restriction. That's what the page says.
I'm pulling up the actual thing right here.
I sent it. That's what he
Okay,
says.
thank you.
What he does is that he goes towards Kaiser to force him into an impossible challenge, to force him into a challenge where Kaiser is forced into restriction. So no, he wasn't forcing Kaiser into freedom here. He literally forced him into restriction. So
then, assuming Kaiser
argument,
breaks away from this, what does that make him do? So Kaiser broke away from the restriction. Does that not mean he's running towards freedom?
That is the core, but that's the point of restriction types. You are into restriction and you break away from it to force into freedom. But it's not because you're breaking into freedom that makes you a freedom type.
And what is if you're a freedom type ego, what are you?
And
what do you
you see that's where I'm saying that there has been a mishandling of those concepts, because what you're saying doesn't really tie into what there's a sort of misunderstanding of what the ego types etc are about, and that this problem hasn't really been addressed, or at least explained thoroughly by the story. Because again, Kaiser breaking out of constraint and restriction doesn't make him a freedom type. That's what the restriction type is about.
But is that actually an
Can
issue in
I say what I was going to say?
wait one sec.
What's
Is that
the
actually an
problem, though?
issue?
What are you trying to figure out?
Is that actually an issue in the story and the author, or is it that the players are just fluid? So Kaiser just recently said that this is the best, like this is playing football with Isagi, which has completely changed his outlook on football and his way of playing football, which for me is the reason why he's linking up the way he is. For you, it might seem like he's going against his restrictive play style, but for me, it looks as if he's changing his play style. I don't know if that makes sense.
Can I say what I want to say now? I've been
Go for
waiting.
it.
Yeah, go on.
In 269, Isagi, there is that whole moment of go ahead and show me your optimal escape from this restriction. But then Isagi makes a comment about how he's basically made Kaiser run into the restriction zone, showing that Kaiser's still got a restriction ego, because this is his optimal way to sort of get forward, is to run towards the enemies, while Isagi actively says, freely split off, so I can freely split off. Meaning, this is literally showing the two talented learners at this point split into their preferred environments, their like more thriving environments of Isagi being free, Kaiser being restricted by the enemies in that moment, and then later you've got the whole thing in like 292 was once again Kaiser is in a restricted environment because Kaiser and Isagi's play is being restricted by Rin, and then Kaiser, to score a goal, he figures out how to break out of the restricted environment, because that's the point of the restricted environment ego. You thrive off figuring out how to be restricted and then break through it. And that's what he does. He figures out how to break through the restrictions, which puts them into the freedom zone. But unfortunately, that's when Shido was there.
You
But
right. You
Shido's a
right.
Each
freedom type.
time.
Which Shido's a freedom type, so it
Yeah,
would make sense.
that he's in the free zone. So, yes, each time it's not shown Kaiser going into freedom. He's literally constantly being restricted in order to play with Isagi because Rin is going after Isagi, but he's still finding ways to break past that restriction,
On top of
and
that, on
that's
top of
how he's
that,
It's
playing optimally.
human restriction.
on
Yeah, I
top of
feel
that,
it.
Kaiser's link up with Isagi is a restrictive play style anyways. Kaiser's only trying to link with Isagi, no one else. You saw before he made his Magnus cross,
Yeah.
he had the option to pass it to Kiora, and he chose not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kaiser's restricting
Yeah, but
himself,
and
whilst
No one
that's
can keep up
Isagi,
with Kaiser
Mhm.
and Isagi
it
right now.
literally shows that Kaiser's restricting himself to play with Isagi, whereas Isagi's being free by playing with
With Kaiser.
pretty much everyone, and now he's even more free because he's got the piece of Kaiser to use.
Hmm. I agree. I agree. Go on, Suki. What was you
Yeah.
saying quickly?
I was gonna say that Kaiser and Isagi are so above everyone else to where it's like the only piece Kaiser can really utilize that would keep up with his game plans is Isagi. And the fact that their final game plan is utilizing luck is showing that they have to restrict themselves. Not Isagi necessarily, but Kaiser has to restrict his goal to just luck. It can't be a goal that falls from Kaiser alone. It has to just be something that works out. Like the both plays where Kaiser had a chance to score since they started working together was off of Isagi. I'm trying to remember the one in the last chapter, but the first one was because of Karasu stopping Isagi, so Kaiser got lucky. And now in this chapter, he almost got lucky, but Karasu again
Oh wait, gotta
stopped.
go. I'll be back in a sec.
Shido. Shido
It was
stopped, not
Shido.
Karasu.
Shido. Yeah.
Karasu kind of deflected the pass, so Shido was able to get there. But yeah, Shido did the most work of getting the bad luck to
No,
Kaiser.
Well,
I
Karasu
think you've
didn't touch the
misread
ball at
that.
all.
Karasu didn't touch the ball at all.
The argument you could make is that Karasu
He
stalled
almost
Hiyori
got
so
there. My
like
fault.
it's catch up, but like as far as Karasu knew, he had no idea Shido was
Oh, I
gonna.
thought in the
More so
final
just
panel, like
Shido
where
being
Karasu
crazy.
jumped at him. Wait,
Also,
did,
Karasu didn't touch the ball
did
at
he get
all.
the ball? I forgot.
He didn't touch the ball at all. The whole trail goes like a whole ball length ahead of Karasu. Like
Right. I have not read the officials yet. I just read the raw scans. I should probably read the official.
Yeah.
real
Read
quick.
them, man. Better.
It's in the server, man.
Honestly, I think this situation is where I don't think this circumstance we're going to agree because it seems like
We
I
have different
solidly
definitions of what it is because there's a lot of inferencing that has to happen, but at the same time, we should be able to come up with an answer we all agree with that makes sense based on the evidence. Like I always thought, freedom and restriction was your environment. What kind of situation
Yeah.
are you in that makes you play your best? And
I feel like
no matter what, even if Kaiser's in freedom has the freedom, it doesn't mean he can't perform well.
also
Like
my
Been
thought isn't
performing well.
on the freedom
How long
and
has he been
restriction is
this
the environment. My thought has always been freedom and restriction is your mindset. If you keep your mindset slash like obviously it can refer to the environment on some points being pressured and whatnot, but if you keep yourself restricted for options, that's when you play your best. I think like when you're keeping yourself constantly like
That makes
on your
sense to me.
last legs in place in like terms of what you can do on the field.
Because that's
That
how
is
Rin
that. And
plays.
freedom is where you have the whole world at your feet, basically. Which,
where did this whole
when you
question
look
come
at the,
from?
it was because Wise kept saying that
Raito.
Kaneshiro left it behind, but I don't think Kaneshiro has. I just don't think it's him being name dropped every chapter. I feel like it's just something that's implied to be there.
Hello.
What the
Yes.
hell?
Wise.
Okay, I'm back.
You alright?
Yeah,
Okay.
chilling.
So I think we're gonna move on from that convo. I think that convo is actually gonna.
Yeah, I think we already went through it deep enough.
Yeah.
One thing, I'll just add one thing.
Yeah. Go on.
Because that was the original point. Another thing, and I'll let you guys think about it. No need to talk about it because like it's just something I'm throwing out there. But another thing that has been kind of given up on and not really expanded on, or at least really talked about is Kaiser's whole I want to surpass the impossible bit. And then we see him go from that to then, oh, I'll become the most optimal, how can I say, goal scoring machine. I'll do the whatever is best, instead of I'll fight against the invincible, yeah, invincible, impossible. Sorry, I'm
Mm.
jumping up, but yeah, just something I'm throwing out there, and I'll let you guys think about it. But yeah, let's move on another topic.
Yeah. I honestly think like this topic will come up again in the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be expanded on even more as we play more games. So we'll have chance to talk about it again.
Let's get
Um,
into episode Nagi, bro.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm excited for.
yeah. So that's what I wanted to be. Well, before that, I wanted to um no, actually, yeah. Let's get into the Nagi stuff, because I think there's gonna be a lot to say on that. So who wants to kick us off?
Wait,
We'll
could
go
you
left to
repeat?
right
Sorry,
again.
I had to do something. Could you repeat what you were saying? Sorry, really sorry.
Yeah, no, I basically said that I think later on in the story we're gonna get more expansion on the restriction and the freedom stuff. So I think we're gonna have that conversation again, down the line
Mm,
in the story.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're gonna move on to episode of Nagi now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just asking who wants to kick us off with that one.
I'll let you guys
I'd say just
start.
go left to right again.
Yeah, I don't have much to say honestly on the episode Nagi. I honestly don't have much to say except that like I like the how can I say, the way that Nagi and Barrows talk about like surpassing Isagi or beating Isagi does show a bit about what their how can I say, ego is about, and yeah, not much, really not much. So
I
I'll let
I
you
would
guys go for it.
I would like to show a callback. The the episode Nagi sort of Phantom Isagi that happens that he ends up fighting with is sort of similar to the time Rin sees the Phantom Sai.
Mm,
If you remember that when he's like in PXG in that match, Rin sees a Phantom Sai and goes, "No, this isn't good enough." I feel like that's a sort of mirrored thing that happens with Barou, because Barou does the exact same thing where he doesn't think the goal is good enough
yeah,
to surpass Asagi.
yeah.
And I
I
think
think
that's I feel like doing that makes some sort of comparison between Asagi and Sai, and I feel like that's some sort of foreshadowing. Also, this match has shown Karasu's Crow appearing for the first ever time before the U20 game.
We've seen his crow the whole game, though. I mean, this whole game we've seen it since like the flashback chapter, haven't we?
What, in
which
episode
flashback
Nagi?
chapter?
Yeah, in
Yeah, we've
episode,
seen
we've seen
we
like,
saw his
when he
crow
was
in
just
the. I'm pretty sure we saw his crow in the very first like chapter of their game.
I might
and
be
when
going
they
crazy.
boosted Otoya to
And
equalize the game 4-4, it shows his crow arrow. It's like I'm thinking about Otoya's ninja stuff, but yeah, we've seen it multiple times throughout this game, not just this chapter.
uh,
Yeah,
the having it be a month between, I can't remember half the stuff that happens in previous
Yeah,
chapters.
so this game's been
That's my
incomplete
bad.
so long.
yeah. Yeah, no, I think we've seen the crow before. Um, but yeah, like you said, the whole phantom thing. Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same as what Rin saw, with his brother. But the thing I'd like to to um to point out with this is that, um for me, when I first saw it, my callback wasn't the Rin the Psy Phantom. My callback was more, do you know in the first season where when Bachira was playing, they showed a flashback of Bachira playing football, and then he tries to pass it to his monster in a random position. I thought of it more like like in that sense where they're now seeing monsters like Bachira sees his monster that plays in the ideal way he wants to play, and it's sort of like the same with them seeing Isagi, who brings them to play in their best ways. Although I don't know how it would look if you was actually in the match and just seeing Nagi just randomly busting out tricks for no reason before taking a shot. But yeah, my callback was more Bachira than Rin.
Fair enough. I think the fact that it was a phantom of a real person made it feel more closer to the Rin callback.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Can I say though, the art for these chapters, not just the episode of Nagi, but the Blue Lock chapter, the the art this week has been fucking sick, man. Sorry for
I know
swearing.
that. Yeah, no, I can get what you mean.
Yeah,
I can get behind that.
it's been beautiful, man. It's been beautiful. But yeah, anyone else wants to give their take?
All right. Y'all said some very interesting points. For Bachua, it's very interesting that you thought about him. I didn't think about him at all because the monster is something that influences plays that would support you, like you said.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Bao's play, it kind of wasn't to support him, more so of a challenge to him. The monster doesn't really challenge Bachua, more say it actually just inspires him to like not inspire, but like where Bachira really wants to put his ideal zones. Oh no, I'm just tripping. I'm not gonna talk about Bachira's monster. That's for another day. This chapter there wasn't really much to talk about. Uh
Yeah, I
but yeah,
mean,
I think I got more Sai vibes than Bachira vibes because the monster for Bachira before the Bachira flashback, it wasn't really like challenging Bachira really. Bachira was just kind of flowing with the monster. They were chill and chill. Meanwhile, the Phantoms is like this is like mistakes or like things you would have done in the past, but you gotta like avoid them to do something better. And Nagi is like the only one to actually like destroy the monster per se. Like Rin had to make sure Isagi, I mean not make sure, but like Isagi took the place of the Phantom before he could destroy it. He didn't, he wasn't able to destroy Sai's Phantom. He more so had Isagi take his place.
yeah.
Bao wasn't able to destroy it. We had to have Nagi do it. It was a weird chapter because we have Nagi doing flex to destroy it. So I don't know how to explain like how he destroys it. It's kind of weird because the way Isagi was moving and challenging them is like we don't know what Isagi was really challenging Nagi to do per se. Like Nagi already had the goal in the bag before Isagi came, and when like
Mm.
I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, Nagali art here makes a good point. It says, "Didn't you guys notice that the kings of NEL see ghosts?" And then he went on to say here that Isagi is a talented learner, so he must be sane. Do you guys think that this whole phantom thing is only seen by geniuses?
Oh,
I'll
100%.
just I'll start since we're going with the left right thingy real quick,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll just be quick. But I don't really agree, mostly because of the whole monster thing. We gotta remember that Bachira's evolution was from seeing the monster because he couldn't really how can I say, he forgot, he lost belief in himself, in his own ideals, etc., because he was trying not to be lonely. And his development was about, instead of having the monster
Challenge him.
being outside of him, it was about realizing that he is the monster, and that the play he was trying to create by rising up to the monster's ideal were his own imagination, etc. Like The whole thing of the nail for Bachira is about becoming the monster, realizing that the monster is himself rather than how can I say, having the
Rather
monster
than
be something
something external,
exterior.
someone
So
else.
it's not about talented learner and genius. In my mind, it's much more about like well, restriction, but not really restriction, but more so about how can I say, yeah, how you use someone else as a means to get your impulses out. So
Hmm.
sort of restriction of sorts, to then be able to really get your plays out because you don't have enough self-awareness
Hmm.
to really use your talent to its fullest. The same way that someone would, for example, be have a much easier time studying when an exam is incoming, when like the deadline is really close,
Yeah.
and so using that deadline as a
In
boost
there, pick up a
rather than being able to use it all the time. That's what the ghost is about, I would say, rather, because it
Can
really
I?
forces in. Yeah, go for it.
No, continue. Finish your point.
Mm. So yeah, the ghost, quote unquote, is really much more about being able to get your impulses out because you aren't able to get them out by yourself, rather than being a genius or talented learner thing. In my opinion, since as we saw, Bachira's whole ordeal was about realizing that he is the monster. The plays that he was trying to do with the monster are his own plays, and he needs to be self-sufficient. So yeah, that's it.
Mm.
Can I quickly make a comment about the whole Karasu thing I brought up earlier?
Go for it, King.
I've I've just looked through the entirety of the game during episode Nagi. This is the first time the crow has shown up. The crow
No, it is.
No, it is, because the crow that showed up during his flashback is a real crow. Because it was the real crow that flew past him. He's had
But
his
Kaiser
feathers show
assists
up, but
Otoya with the crow.
his feathers are just the design of his aura. It's not actually much like Barou's lightning aura. The feathers are just that design. His crow never actually appeared, and you can even see this is the first time it appears because it emerges from his hand. You actually see its head sprouting from his hand as it bursts out as he sort of knocks Barrow away a bit. Obviously, Barrow still breaks past him, but it's the first time during the match that the crow has actually shown up. I've just looked through every single chapter that this match
Wait,
goes
no,
on
but
in.
didn't it show? Didn't it show during the first, like around the first chapters when he
Yeah,
tackled, when
I
he got
thought
the
in the
ball from
first
Kunigami?
interaction with Karasu,
Yeah, when he got the ball from Kunigami, it did show.
I thought it did as well.
When he got the ball
Yeah,
from who?
from
Yeah, but
Kunigami. Let me get you
he's talking
the
before
exact panel. It
U20
should be
game.
around chapter.
I'm on
Even
about this
chapter
is the first time it
28. If
shows
you look at
before
the
U20.
goal between Karasu and Otoya, Karasu
Yeah,
has
no,
the
no,
crow on his
you're
back.
talking. Oh, in the U20,
Yeah,
before the
prior to the
U20, you
U20
mean?
game.
No, I'm talking about second selection. Karasu
Oh,
has the
prior
crow
to
on his
U20.
back
Oh,
in
okay. I thought you were talking about the PXG match.
So where
Uh,
are you saying? Sorry.
chapter
After the
28.
yeah,
You
no, I
lock
was talking.
episode
Go for it. Go for it.
Chapter 28, you said.
You lock episode
So when
19.
you
When
look at it,
Otoya scores, you can see the full crow on his back. You can see its feet, you can see its wings, you can see its big ass beak, the same size as
Yeah.
Karasu's geometric head. But
Yeah.
Geometric head.
Yeah.
where do you see that in chapter 28?
I'll send it to you right
the
here.
goal
Look at the
panel.
server. Look at the server. I'm sending it to it. I'm sending it to the server right now.
Okay, I'll open the server because I might have missed it whilst I was skimming.
Yeah, he
Bro.
sent it right.
Boom.
The
Oh,
crow right on top of his ass.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we saw it straight away.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
you
double
you are
T.
correct. We do see the crow. Never mind, I'm blind. That would be the first time we see it then.
Yeah. Yeah, it will.
Well, it's also the first time we saw a Toya's aura. Not this chapter, but this game. Which his aura is
Also,
just
is it
what
just
ninja
me?
tools.
Yeah, sickles.
Yeah,
Wait,
is it
did you
just me?
see it
Is it
in,
really
the
weird that
Otoya?
Zantetsu's aura is just a bullet train?
Not
It's
weird.
so
Makes sense.
sick, dude. It's so sexy as he's just a train. Like he even runs with
Sexy?
It
trains in
makes
his
sense,
flashback.
but it's
Yeah.
like, why the fuck is he a train?
Because he
He's
used to
not
Uh,
chase
a train.
trains, no?
Because
he used
trains
to
are
he used to chase bullet trains, and also because of his explosive acceleration is like a bullet train. Just that straight
Yeah,
boom,
no,
instantaneous speed.
it makes sense. It's just I feel like more specifically when you look at the bullet train next to the next to Chiguru's aura, it looks so lame.
It is kind of cool though, like when you look at how Zantetsu is running and Chigiri in that panel. Chigiri has his hand kind of like a paw that's about to like be put on the ground, and Zantetsu's putting his hand in front of his face, kind of like how the bullet train slant is.
Yeah, no, I know it is cool, but I just think comparatively the creatures they are kind of.
Also, why is Chigiri's aura not a cheetah? Why is it a
isn't it?
panther?
No,
No,
I
it's a
think
I know.
panther.
no, because the
It's supposed to be
panthers and cheetahs are the same thing though.
No, they're
Pam-
not.
pam- yeah,
Cheetahs are
panther's just the
faster
name
than
for
panthers,
cats,
though. What
innit?
are you
I'm gonna
talking
show you a picture of a cheetah and a panther. You tell me which
No,
is
no,
which.
but panther like cheetahs are panthers.
No, they're not.
No, they're
No,
not.
they
faster?
are. They are like
Which is
panthers
which?
is like a panthers is like saying fish, bro.
No, it's not.
It
Chan-
is.
I
It
mean,
engulfs a lot of different cats.
No, it's not.
It is.
No,
Trust
it
me,
ain't.
look it
No,
up.
because a panther. I want to clarify. A panther is another name specifically for a leopard. You have the black panther, which is a leopard that is all
Oh
black
yeah, you're
instead of
right.
having
You're
the
right.
spot.
It's leopard. Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
yes,
You're right.
Panthera is
Oh,
one of
you're looking at
two
the
of the feline things. So a panther is a leopard by technicality.
Yeah. That's
But
what it was. That's what it was.
it's the question of why specifically is Chiguru's aura a black panther, the animal, over being
A cheetah.
a cheetah?
Cause he doesn't cut corners, bro.
Well, cheetahs run like he does. Cheetahs run pretty
No,
much
no,
how
he
he
said
does.
that because he's saying he's not a cheetah.
Yes, he does. Apparently, apparently
Like,
the
I'm
author
not
confirmed
gonna
that
lie.
Cheetah
I'm
has a
not gonna
very
lie,
bad
guys.
personality. He's like,
I'm
Cheetah
not gonna
sucks.
lie. I don't think you guys need to put in that much importance about it, especially if you're talking about the episode Nagi rendition and all, because it's just like it's
Well,
not the
even in the
same
main
person who
story,
draws it.
even
So.
in the main story,
In the
it's
main
the
story,
same.
it's a panther.
I,
even in the main
I, I
story,
honestly think there doesn't need to be that much importance about it because I like in general, as long as it translates to speed, I doubt it's that important.
Yeah, but panthers
what
aren't
it's
necessarily
like.
really fast. Panthers aren't. They're
No.
more muscular than anything. Panthers are really like
Yeah.
big. They're strong. Cheetahs are made
at
for
the
speed.
fastest.
Panthers are
Maybe.
very
expect
strong.
Panther, you would expect
Maybe.
Panther to go to like barou or something. Obviously, a
but
line makes more sense.
More like
maybe.
Kunigami. More of
Maybe
Kunigami
that's
than
why
anything
Kunigami.
like a panther.
but
Kunigami would have been a cool panther. The panther and the cheetah love bait. Yeah. I would have taken that any day.
no, but
Okay,
but
Suki, get out of here.
think about it, guys. Right? Chigiri is at Manshine where he's learning to build his body. Maybe that's
For
why he's a
speed.
panther rather than a cheetah.
So then why would they call him
Oh.
Panther all the way back in the first selection?
No, but his aura's not gonna change. His aura's
Maybe
gonna be
they're
what it's
building him
gonna be
up to
forever.
No. Maybe it's a build up to
Yep.
become a cheetah.
But then why would his aura be the same thing here?
No, because what is
I was going to say he should have been a cheetah.
Yeah.
A cheetah makes more sense for Chigiri.
It's not even his aura. Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure his aura is a cheetah. Or like the pattern, like the spots of it are like half panther, half cheetah. But why is he called the Red Panther and not the Red Cheetah? That's my biggest question. Why is he called the Red Panther and not
maybe
the
it's a
Red Cheetah?
translation issue. You know?
No,
But he calls it that in the officials.
But here's the thing, cheetah.
I just
Cheetah
speak
has a
Japanese
thing
and
for
English.
black cats.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think you're racking your brains over a detail that even I doubt the author cares much about. I'm not.
We
gonna
do though.
lie.
We care. We need
Yeah,
answers.
But that's the thing. The author has put so much emphasis on these the animals
more
that they are.
No more metaphysics.
Karasu being a crow makes so much sense. Why is Chigiri
Well, yeah, his
a
name is
cheetah?
Crow, no?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Karasu, I'm pretty sure does mean crow. Like
Yeah,
fucking,
that's
Yeah,
his name.
Karasu
Karasuno
means
from-
crow.
It's Karasu like in Haikyuu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got me.
so there is reason for him to be there. Why is Chigiri a... There is
panther.
literally
Yeah,
one
but
reason why
that's like
Chigiri
saying
is a
why is
panther.
Barrow
His light novel.
Well,
what?
No,
I want to
because
clarify.
pretty much Isagi started calling him that. Isagi, Nagi, they
No.
pretty much started calling him Red Panther.
There is a reason. Can I quickly clarify why he gets called that?
Huh.
Because Hyoma literally means panther horse.
Oh yeah,
See,
it's,
now
Okay,
we
that's
know the
when-
But then
answer.
why would he? But why would he still pick Panther? That doesn't change
Because
anything.
it's his
Horse
name,
makes more
bro.
sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, cheetah makes the most sense, but a horse makes more sense to hone in on
But
than
his
a
name's
panther
not
for the
Cheetah. His
speed
name
guy.
is Hyoma.
I get it, but why would you make his name have the context of Panther when you're building him for speed and you make his
Exactly.
aura a cheetah?
I think it's a translation thing, bro. I think it's a translation thing.
Hyoma means panther
But it-
horse / leopard horse,
But
which
it's not a
refers to
translation
great
thing.
speed.
Oh,
If it's
see, it
literally his
means
name,
leopard horse.
if it's literally his name,
I want to
or even
clarify.
leopards are also muscular.
Panthers are literally just leopards that are all black instead of having spots. They're the same thing.
Panthers
but
can
it's
run at
still a
top speeds
leopard.
of 35
Wait.
miles an hour. I can name a lot of things that move faster than that. I'm pretty sure a lion can go like 40. So, like,
Faster than that, which is the other animal that is in his name.
hell, even a horse would have made sense because he's a long sprinter. He's a guy made for sprinting. So why? Okay, if his name, okay, I get it if he's called Panther because of his name, but that doesn't explain why his aura is a cheetah.
Is it a
If
cheetah?
they're gonna call him a panther, if his name has panther, make his aura a panther and not a cheetah. And it doesn't make sense to be a panther if he's speed. It should have just made his name to be a cheetah. This is the issue. We're gonna have a war. We're gonna have war. We're gonna start war. Let's riot. You guys want to riot with me?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, let's riot.
We're not rioting. No, we're not
We're
rioting.
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 Okay,
I
instead
will-
of
I
rioting,
will
instead of
rioting.
rioting, can we just move on? Can we just-
No, we're rioting.
Oh, sorry. Move on. Like what?
Oh my
What?
God,
The,
okay.
like the right.
You decided for the riot. Put a date. Put a date on the riot for some other day. Since you already
3:42 a.m.
decided on the
tomorrow.
riot.
If you guys
And
are
for
not
now-
in New Zealand, I'm gonna riot without you.
Okay, let's go. Let's fucking
I
get
can't
it.
get to
Okay.
New Zealand
For
by
now,
then, but
let's
okay.
move on. The date is
I'll
settled.
riot in spirit.
No more talking about this. We can riot some other day. We can riot tomorrow at 3 a.m. In New
If you guys
Zealand.
want to write about Chickadee's name with us, come to New Zealand in an unspecified location at 3:42 a.m. and you know what to do.
We're gonna storm.
We
we're
need to
gonna
do a
storm.
random stream sometime that instead of like talking about the latest chapter, it's just us complaining about Blue Lock
Hello.
character names.
Nah, I'm gonna just go live for no reason. Hello, I'm in New Zealand rioting because of Chickadee's name and aura because it doesn't make sense. Change
Alright,
his
so-
stuff. Change
so-
his. I'm done. You're good.
No, go on.
No, I was saying I've finished the joke.
Uh,
I've completed it. It's gotten bored.
well, Yoki said he'd join your riot.
Woo! That's
Um,
two.
I'll be in the riot in spirit. I'll be fucking up Twitter or
there
something.
was a question
yeah.
here. One sec. Where was it?
If I ever get to ask no more a question or kind of shit, that's what I'm asking. Why would you make his aura not a panther? Why would you ruin? And Shigade's my favorite character, so I have even more reason to be mad.
Right. It was this one. So if Blue Lock takes place in 2018-19, do y'all think real world players would play? Since Ego mentioned them.
I don't think so. I don't think they're able to.
No, I think because of copyright decisions, he probably won't ever
Yeah.
talk about them again.
It's more so a case of, remember, this is taking place 2018 to 2019. The whole idea is they're going to play the U20. So first, most real world players who have been named are above the U20. And then when it gets to the next set, it will likely be a case of the actual World Cup, the real players won't play because of, would you look at this, so much has changed after Blue Lock did so well in the U20 World Cup.
Even then,
That
I
would
think
be the
I
worst
think
case
they'll
even
even.
then,
I don't even, like,
we already
I don't
got
think they will
Mbappe as Loki. I just think they'll go for
Yeah.
quote unquote stereotypes of the characters, like instead
Yeah.
takes on the character instead of actual players.
Yeah, they're coming in for like they Ego mentioned real world players, right? But he mentioned them in the context of how soccer players should be. if he's putting them in the story as actual characters, that can lead to a whole like it can intentionally lead to a lawsuit of
So,
like mischaracterization. I don't know the
Mm.
exact legal term for it, but there is a lawsuit in line with mischaracterization. Which they probably wouldn't, but it still comes down into that legal issue of like same thing with like copyright. Like there are some limitations to
Yeah,
copyright
image
law
image rights,
which
innit?
you
It's
can yeah, kind
the
of.
only
Like
reason he could put them in so far is because he is quoting them. You can put someone in to quote them. You can't put them in and like give them
as a
new speech
character.
and whatnot.
yeah, and give them like a new personality that you're creating yourself. It's like that's what we're doing for like the Blue Lock movie. We're in the kind of gray zone
Uh,
of the copyright law. Like we're not going against it, but like we're pushing the line, if that makes sense.
do you know? Do you
But
know it in the
it's still
movie? Is it gonna be 11 versus 11?
no, it's 3v3.
3v3. Okay.
It's Kaiser, Sai, and Lorenzo versus three original characters who are facing them.
Okay. Oh, original characters. Ah,
What do you want us to do? We're gonna have to come up with someone.
I
Who?
thought it was gonna be Isagi and the boys.
No, Isagi and them are spectators.
Okay.
I'll give
Oh,
you some
nice.
hint. Rayo bought out an owner's box for the Blue Lock team, so they're just gonna be sitting in the owner's box watching.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
That does
So
make me want to say, after this stream, I do have an idea I need to discuss with you guys.
Oh, no
can't say it
worries.
on here, huh? Secretive.
No, he doesn't want it to get stolen, innit?
It's about my secret project.
Oh, you're right, man. If you reveal it, I might take it. You're so right, man. Because that's what I do. I steal content. I
I just mean I want it to be a surprise for viewers.
got a funny thing to
Okay.
tell you. I got something funny to tell you guys. So my do you guys know who Onyx is? The creator.
Yeah, I've heard
So
of it.
yeah, so he was doing some research for one of his. He had to do some AI research or something, like using AI to come up with something. And he was talking, and he looked up. Tell me about Blue Lock season 2. And when he looked it up, yeah, I'll see if I can pull it up here. Like, here you go. So he said, explain the plot of Blue Lock second season. I don't know if you guys
Mhm.
can see here. My video popped up through ChatGPT.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Lucky you.
Like, I thought it was hilarious. For
Yeah,
more
man.
detailed exploration of season events and themes, you can find this video insightful. And it just sent.
Oh, insightful as well, mad.
Oh yeah.
Yo, you're getting credit from ChatGPT now, man.
And so I had to do it. I had to look myself up. I mean, come on. If ChatGPT mentions you, you gotta look. And it knows me.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
It also knows Raven, which is kind of cool. We're gonna see if it knows you guys.
Listen, we need to get
I was
Raven
gonna
in here
say
at some
this
point as
this
well.
needs this needs to become a thing. Who is? I'm searching myself first because I'm vain. That's a
Right.
lie.
Whilst you
Who is
do
Let's
that,
Go Black Moon?
can we also
It knows
answer?
you too.
Can we answer this question as well from Nagali Art?
Sorry, one thing. I
go on.
looked you up on ChatGPT, Raito. The first
Me?
thing that popped up was your description of what your channel is and the current live stream we're on right now.
Oh really?
Mhm.
God.
Oh, Matt.
It literally sent the thumbnail for this live stream. Who will be the new hero?
Okay. They're watching us, guys. What they're watching us.
The AI's it's in the walls.
Best
It's in the
behavior.
goddamn walls.
Guys, I've searched myself.
Mhm.
ChatGPT thinks I've misspelled something. Thinks I've made typos.
Yeah, but yeah, you can go ahead and ask the question. I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna
So
call after this one just because I'm getting tired and I gotta edit like 2 other
yeah.
videos tonight.
No worries. No worries. I think this will be the last one. So Nagali Art says, fun question for y'all. Besides Lorenzo and Kaiser, what other countries do you guys think the other New Gen 11 will come from? So we know Lorenzo comes from Italy, Kaiser comes from Germany. So what other countries do you think will be represented by a
Also,
New
what
Gen 11?
positions?
Yeah,
What
also what
positions
positions? I reckon. You guys reckon there's another striker? Because I reckon there's another
Yeah,
striker.
yeah. I think there's. I think there's just currently 11 players. I don't think there's a limit. Like, I think there's definitely going to be some wingers, more defenders, some midfielders, and then some strikers. I want there to be a Russian new Gen 11 goalkeeper who just constantly says Mother Russia.
What?
I think that'd be funny as hell. Because Gagamaru's aura has always been perceived to be a bear. So imagine how cool it'd be to have the other goalkeeper have a confirmed aura of this giant grizzly bear. And he's just this massive goalkeeper.
I was gonna say why Russian, but I get you. I get
Because
you.
when I think of a Russian guy, I think of someone like big, strong, like imposing. And I also think of a grizzly bear when I describe those things.
Well,
Like, at least out
currently,
of the auras that haven't been manifested yet.
we've got to have a French new Gen 11 player, surely.
Well, Loki's pretty much that.
But Loki's not new Gen 11 though.
Loki could be. He's not. I'll say that.
Would-
I've made a whole argument that Loki doesn't have the title, but if he was given the title, it would make sense and it would fit him. Like, if anyone's getting a new Gen 11 title that isn't Loki, it's Charles. Like, Charles is the next.
Nah, but I don't want that. I want for an actual new Gen 11 player, like from France, like someone that's not been shown so far. Like, and I want them to be like a super skillful midfielder or something like that.
What would
like
they
a-
do though?
Like a Dembele or something like that. That'd be sick.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to clock out now. So
We're good.
I'll
We're all
leave you guys
clocking
there.
anyway.
No worries, Wise, bro. Thanks
Yeah,
for joining
have
us.
a good night. Bye-bye,
Wise,
guys.
let me
See
know
ya.
let me know if you ever do another one of these. I'd love to have you on one of my streams because you're one of the only people who I can have a close debate with. Every time I go against someone, they just kind of give up or just leave.
I knew it. I knew it. I
I
knew
need
you
someone-
two. I knew you two would get
I
on.
need someone. I need someone who I can debate with.
Yeah, sure.
Yo, what about
Just
our
hit me up
debates?
and we'll see. Well, I'll leave you guys there. Have a great night, and thanks for everyone coming on that came on the stream. Pause. But yeah, have a good night. See ya.
Yeah, night, bro.
See ya.
Yeah, I need a real new Gen 11 player, someone super skillful, like bachelor level skillful, or even more, and from France.
It could be cool to get an Argentinian guy who's kind of like Messi.
I was gonna say there's got to be an Argentinian guy coming up.
Because like
Ooh.
Bachata is said to have future development.
Yeah.
So I think have Bachata face another dribbler would be kind of interesting.
do
Like,
you guys
it'd be so cool. Have this Argentinian guy be just like Bachata, but like Messi, just like with Bachata's kind of like interpretation of the monster. Like he can see the monster too.
Oh yeah. But do you guys think that Bachelor will ultimately just end up being a midfielder or a winger?
Yes. He's gonna be a captain, isn't he?
Yeah, because even though he is set up to be like one of the the big strikers in the NEL, I don't think he's cut out for being just a striker. False nine maybe, but not a striker for me. I
Who
want
the
For
who, who
for like
the,
a club, yeah, striker. But for like the Japan team, no, not striker.
who Bachata?
Yeah.
Bachata's like a winger.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Or
leaning
a
towards
cam.
winger.
Nah, I wouldn't even say that. I would just say winger because like I for center attacking, I feel like someone like Isagi is definitely a better position for that, or like even Nagi, because Bachata's like so nimble. I feel like he's so nimble and quick with his movements that he's good on a winger because wingers are usually designed for someone with more
Yeah.
speed. And while
Yeah.
Bachata might not be the fastest, I feel like his agility when it comes to dribbling is something that fits a winger more than midfielder like that. Because when I think of a midfielder, I wouldn't think of someone who's gonna just straight dribble down the
Dribble,
middle. I think someone
yeah.
who's gonna dribble down the wing.
Yeah.
You know?
I've seen a good question. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll take one more and
which
I'm
one?
gonna call it.
It is the latest one, Duality Vulcans. Who is the best Blue Lock character when it comes down to design?
Oh, this is so definitely like biased. It's Kaiser.
I'm going to assume it means
Ooh,
like physical
Kaiser.
appearance design.
Wait, we talking about just like what we think looks cool, or are we talking about like symbolism?
Are we talk? Yeah, that's the importance here.
I think it.
I
I
think
think it's just.
enter
I
two.
think it means cool.
I think you could do both. Answer both in terms of
Right, do
symbolism
both.
and in terms of just personal preference. What looks cool to you?
Okay.
Who's going first?
So Raito, you
Like,
go
so you
first.
go.
No,
Like, so you go.
right,
Oh,
okay.
am I going first? I
Yeah.
thought Raito would.
Go on.
Yeah, Raito, this ain't no stream anymore. It's ours.
Go on,
No, we
Lexio.
need Raito's opinion. No, I'm waiting for you. I
Right,
gotta think.
okay. So we're doing in terms of looks, and then we're doing in terms of
Yeah, we're doing both.
character symbolism.
Yeah.
First do looks, second do symbolism.
Right, okay. So in terms of looks, oof. In terms of looks, hmm, I think Shido. I think Shido. Uh, a little bit biased because he's a little bit tanned. Um, and
What's that supposed to
because
mean?
no, because I'm black in it, so I'm biased towards him because he's tanned.
Oh, I thought you were
Uh,
saying, just because he's tan. Like, ugh. It's like, if he wasn't tan, it'd be like, that's what I thought you were saying. Like, wait a minute.
no. I'm putting him up there because he's tanned.
Oh.
And to be honest, Hiyori should be tanned. I don't know what happened to him.
Well, to be fair, Hiyori isn't black.
Is it not?
No, his father's just tan.
Yeah, but exactly. But so why did he get no
His father
melanin?
isn't, because his father's not black. His father's just tan. Same as Shido.
Really?
Shido's not black. Shido's just tan.
Yeah. His
Really?
father's tanned and his
I
mother's
always thought
white,
his father
so
was black.
therefore he's just
Yeah.
no.
Like, if you put Hiyori out in the sun more, maybe. But his dad's just tan.
Oh
Like,
right,
in his
right.
light
Okay.
novel, he said he's just tanned. And Shido's just some guy who just sits in the sun a lot.
Oh,
That's
is
why he's
it?
tan. Shido never played soccer before Blue Lock, so I assumed he just did art and went outside and chilled in the sun. Like, those are what he said. If he didn't play soccer, he'd be an artist.
Yeah, but okay. But anyways, he is tanned, so Shido is up there in terms of just aesthetics. In terms of actual substance in character, who hmm that's actually a tough one for me because
There's cool designs, but there's not a lot of unique ones that like are
yeah
like
like something out there. The only one would be Shido again, but I don't quite like his mindset
yeah.
personally.
Well, it's the symbolism of the design. Like for me, I'll tell you. I'll just give you my example. I think the
Mhm.
best design, just base in my opinion, is Kaiser. I love the blonde, blue, and the red. It's like the yellow, blue, red primary color. It all flashes well. It's just such a nice and when I get to color Kaiser, it's just such a nice like look to it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But in terms of design, um, shit, I had an answer now. I can't remember it. In terms of symbolism, I think a really good design is like Ness, just because when you look at Ness's hair, I mentioned this before, it's supposed to be
Yeah,
a
you
wilted
mentioned.
rose.
Yeah, you mentioned that, man. That's sick. Yeah, that's
So, and
sick.
it
That's
works
sick.
well with Kaiser. So, in terms of just his relationship with that, it'd be cool if Ness came back with a different hairstyle now, since he's no longer devoted to Kaiser. I'd be interested to see if he came back somewhat different.
Ooh,
Oh, make
yeah.
it like a top hat, like street magicians.
Nah, have him be Buzz.
Do you guys think we're gonna Japan will ever get to play Germany in World Cup?
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
Ness is
Yeah.
supposed to have future relevance as well.
Okay. I thought the future relevance was this game.
No, future like in terms of after the NEL. In terms
Ah,
of after the NEL, Bachara, Sai, Sendo, and Ness are all confirmed to have some kind of development in the future arcs or the future of the story.
okay.
Can I decide who
Hello?
I think?
Hello.
Oh, you guys can hear me. Okay, nice.
Can I make a
Yes,
comment on who
Rise.
I think has best designs?
No.
Yeah, go on.
So, just best design, just looks wise. I think I have to give it to Akira and Doji.
Oh,
You
I'm
love
sure
that guy,
you
bro.
do.
You love that guy, bro.
His appearance is fucking awesome, and you can't deny that.
Yeah, it looks great from the sidelines.
Sim- Oi.
It really decorates the
Symbolism
bench
wise,
well.
though.
It decorates great. It makes it sparkles the bench well. You know.
Symbolism wise though, I really like I think design wise for symbolism, I really like Karasu.
I like Karasu as well. I like Karasu.
I feel like his is very symbolistic.
Mhm.
I like Bachara as well. Those are two very symbolistic characters, like design wise, that I think haven't got brought up
Bachira is
yet. So
random,
I'm
isn't
gonna
it?
mention them.
I'm with you, bro. Because like that one chapter where Karasu's head looked just like an arrow, that's just
Mhm.
peak character design right there. Who's gonna win the fight? Karasu, can you tell me real quick who's gonna win the matchup between you and Hiyori? Oh, thanks, Karasu. You let me know.
Karasu is using weapons, man. It's not fair.
Karasu's using
No,
visual symbolism to help us further along in the story since blue lockers can't read.
Oh man.
but yeah, I think in terms of the visual symbolism and stuff, I do really like Bachara's design.
Yeah, yeah. Bachira is one that always stands out. I quite like. I loved Kira's design, but yeah, that guy washed. That's
No, that
washed.
guy's great.
Akira
If he
ain't
had
do
survived
nothing.
in No, if he had survived in Blue Lock, he would have been one of the best players. Check my what if to find
He's
out
still
how.
here. He's still here. He just I just wish he wasn't.
What if like do you know like when Barrow thought he was gonna lose to Isagi, and he became a bum, drinking Estrella
I mean,
in his
alcoholic.
in
Yeah.
his room watching TV. What if that's Kira now that he's been
It
knocked
is
out of
Kira
Blue Lock?
now in the
That
actual
could have
manga.
just looks at Kunigami or Baro. It could have been me.
He's watching NEL on his big screen,
Oh my
cracking
god!
up.
After the PXG match, we see Isagi score the final goal. We get a cut to Kira watching on his TV. He
That'd be
turns
so
it off.
good.
He walks outside, and he's just in fucking another country, and he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna play for this team, and I'm gonna kill Isagi."
Nah, you see Kira watching the thing. His manager turns it off because he needs to get back on the line. My man's ain't coming back. He needs to get
Oh
back to
man.
work. Oh, also, I guess something really funny to tell you. I don't know if you guys knew. Chapter 248 is where we get the reveal of everyone who's watching the NEL. So of
Mhm.
course you have you have Isagi's parents, right? You have a bunch of fans from around the world. You have
Yeah.
Kunigami's sisters, which is cool.
Yeah.
Chigiri's sister is not watching her brother's game. She's watching PXG vs Bastion Munchen right now.
Really?
Yeah,
How do
Chigiri's
you know?
sister. I'll send you in the panel. Chigiri's sister's in the top left of this panel.
Uh-huh.
The girl on the top left, that is Chigiri's sister, and she is not watching the game. She is watching PXG versus Bastard right now. She don't care. You want to talk about Bastard? She don't
Right. Oh
care.
yeah. Well, it's do you think that's confirmed?
That's
That's
his
everyone that's
sister.
tuned in. Oh, what if the game's at a different time?
They're at the same time. We saw the same with the other two, with every other game. Manshine versus PXG was going on the same time as Bastard and Ubers. PXG versus Ubers was going on the same time as Bastard versus Barcha.
Maybe she's just clueless. She don't know that there's another game going on.
Okay, to be
Or
fair,
she
I
thought
want to say
Chigiri
this.
played for this team.
It does literally go. Remaining are match 9, Spain's FC Barca versus England's Manchester City. And then there's no people shown watching that panel.
No
But
one's
in the very
watching that
next
if this game is on.
No, in the
Yeah.
very next thing we see everyone who's
Watching.
watching, and we
Mhm.
don't actually see the front of her phone showing Bastard versus PXG.
No,
So
but
Okay,
for all we know,
but you don't
some
see,
of these
but
say
you don't
Bastard
see it
versus
for,
PXG.
but you don't see it for the hippie family, and you don't see it for Isagi's parents or the guy next to, or the guy on the right of
Yeah, I
Chigiri's
know.
sister.
That's what
But
I'm
it's
saying.
implied they're watching that game.
I think it's more
Who
so
do you...
implied that they're watching the two games,
Ah.
one of the two games. I don't think it's straight up implied that they're
Yeah,
watching.
you can't. I agree with
versus
this. Like,
PXG.
there's not enough evidence, quote unquote, to immediately affirm. Of course, the paneling would imply, but you just
It
can't
definitely
say
Because we
implies.
don't
100%
see.
it is that way.
I'll tell you like this:
Yeah,
we have Isagi's number one fan, right, and
Yeah.
Isagi's parents. We can assume they're watching the game.
Yeah,
right?
but again, it's assumption. It's not a
Yeah, you've got to make
100%.
assumptions.
But you're
That's
also
just how it
assuming
is.
they're not watching the game. If
We're
they
not
weren't,
making. We're not making. No, we're not making the assumption that they are or they are
I'm
not.
just
We're just
making.
saying you
I'm
can't
going purely
make the
based off
assumption. That's
assumptions.
all. That's all that
My
he's saying.
assumptions are purely
but to be
based
fair,
I
off.
will
who's
say,
watching the two worst teams in the NEL
yeah, no one's
when you
watching the
could be
two.
watching the
No
two
one's
best?
No
Am
one's
I
watching.
wrong?
Realistically, I think Chiguru's sister is literally because I'm 99% sure she met some of the other Blue Lockers at one point, didn't she?
No, she was just in the
Nah,
stands.
she was
She was
just in
just
the stands.
No,
Yeah,
did she not meet them after the U20 game? Like, did
no,
they not bump into her?
no,
not that I
No,
know of.
okay.
not a single time.
Well,
I put it like this:
like
if
the
my brother
likelihood
was
is
on the
she
losing
knows
team,
some of them.
I put it like this: if my little brother was playing a sport and he had a match, but he's on the team that's lost every single time, and on the other field is a bunch of teams that of popular
The one every
players
time.
who have lost 0 times and won every single game, and this is the deciding thing of who's going to win not only this game and be the undefeated team, but also contains the 2 players who are fighting for the top of the entire tournament. You bet your ass I'm not watching my brother's game.
Yeah,
I
especially
mean,
since it's like
that's on you. That's that. All I'm saying,
You're
that's
telling
on.
no.
That's
you
on
want me
you,
to
my
go watch the
brother.
game
That's
No,
hey,
bear in mind.
based
you do
bear in
you.
mind.
You do you. That's on you, brother.
based on
If
the
you want to
evidence,
be that type of
based on
brother,
the
go for
evidence,
it.
based on the evidence, they're
No,
likely
based
I
on
going to
mean,
the
lose
if
evidence.
again.
based
Well,
on the evidence is
Based
about
on the
being
evidence,
based on what you would
based
do, I don't know, man.
I
based
don't know,
on the
man. I'm
evidence,
leaning
I don't
towards
know,
you
man.
Kaiser
want to
I
has
watch
don't
it.
know.
lost
I'm just
every
saying.
game.
Personally, if I had a little brother who was doing that type of shit, I would watch him. I'm just saying, it's all
no,
it's
you
what you
wouldn't.
would do, but
Wise,
it's not. You
No,
can't.
No,
liar.
you'd have the
wise.
PXG game on the
If you
side
were,
as well,
I'll
though.
tell you, if your
On the
brother,
side, yeah. You know what? On the
playing,
side, why not?
if
On
your
the
brother
side,
was
why not?
playing
You know
on
what?
one field, but Messi and Ronaldo were facing off against each other on another field, you're trying to tell me you're gonna watch your brother and miss out watching Messi and Ronaldo?
Yeah, I wouldn't care. I'll watch it back on the fucking replay. I don't fucking care. I would just won't check Twitter.
I
I'll
can
check
watch my
afterwards.
But
brother's on the replay. I can watch him lose again on the replay.
I
listen,
mean, will you be no?
Realistically,
But
it
listen.
okay,
all
If
comes
you
down to here's the
either
thing.
fucking way, either
Here's
fucking
the
way.
thing.
I'm just saying, at the core of it, you just get like the assumption about about the Chigiri's sister because
to
we
be
just
honest,
don't know. We just don't know. That's
Do
all.
I
wise,
That's
want to
all.
go
wise,
watch my brother likely lose
I was gonna
another
say,
game,
wise.
Oh
or
my
go watch the best?
days! Oh
Listen,
my fucking
listen to
days!
all
You
Go
gotta
watch
just.
one of the
here's
best
the
Oh my
teams
thing.
god.
win.
We
Okay, I'm
already
muting
know.
myself. I had enough. I had enough.
Please
Oh my
don't.
Wait,
days.
Please
no,
what was
don't.
wait,
your
wait,
So I can
wise.
argument?
talk.
You were gonna
If
cause
you
Please,
chaos,
zoom in,
man. What?
if you zoom into
please let me
Tigre's
talk now.
sister's eyes, you will see the reflection of the two badges, and I can't lie. It looks to me like
Wait,
it's bastard versus PXG, bro.
Yeah, she
wait.
got
Can you
class.
actually? Wait, can you?
No,
No, no, I'm joking, bro.
I feel like that is something that he would joke about, but also for some reason would actually be a thing.
Nah,
because
I'm
let's be
joking. I'm
honest.
joking.
If you like, look at the bar. If you're at that bar and that game goes on the TV and someone goes, "Hey, put on Manchon versus Barcha,"
Bro.
you're getting your ass beat.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah,
There's
no.
no
In
way.
all honesty,
Okay,
in all
okay,
honesty,
guys.
uh, can I
I'll
speak?
just.
Stop interrupting me, please. You've done it so many times.
I'm
Let me
sorry.
finish what I'm
Go for
saying.
it. Go for it. Go for it.
Dear Lord. Anyway, so as I was saying, you've got to bear in mind, her brother has already gotten a value that guarantees he survives. Her brother is not going to be capable of reaching the very top of the leaderboards. She can either watch her brother get maybe a goal or two in the match and probably lose again, or she can watch the showdown that will be literally like the most
Hype moment in the world right now.
important.
Yeah, all her friends will be
It is
talking
the
about
most
it.
important football game in the world right now. So, what she can do is she can either go, oh, I'll watch the highlights. I'll watch Chiguru's highlights after this, which realistically is all she'd want to see from that match. Or she could go, I'm gonna watch Chiguru's game and just not watch the greatest game of all time.
Dude,
Come on, so pick the greatest game of all time and watch.
dude. It would be double funny if she said, "You know what? Fine, I'm gonna be selfless and watch my brother's game." She tunes in and he's fucking injured.
Yeah.
If she tunes in and he tore his ACL and she cuts back to the other game afterwards and the match is already over, I'd be pissed. I'd go break his other ACL.
No, but what if we actually tune into the Munchen game and Chigiri is injured? That'd be disgusting. But it'd be nice because
No, it wouldn't.
I'm saying this because imagine it's I don't know, Japan versus Argentina, and Japan are currently losing 1-0, and Chigiri's only just recovered. It's the last 10 minutes. So Ego says that Chigiri, you're on. Mad.
If he tears his ACL again, there won't be recovering.
No, I'm not talking about torn ACL. I'm just talking about like maybe it's
Oh,
a
okay.
hammy or
Injury
something.
general.
Oh, like in the latest
That
game,
would-
like in the episode Nagi game, he just burnt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
no, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
but-
something that takes him out for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know.
Arrow, are you gonna take this from the chat?
What?
Oh, it's true. Oh, it's
Eric.
Trishula. I'm used to it.
What happened?
Never mind.
I'm pretty sure he has a timer on his phone that says "Remind Arrow he's a bitch" and just messages me daily, same time for like 3 months. Yo, you a bitch. You a
Who
bitch.
is that?
It's Trishula. It's he's cool. He's someone. He's a buddy. He's a buddy in the Discord.
Okay.
He's cool. But
Just wanted to
Yoki, hold
do
up.
it.
Can we pull up the thing for Yoki that says this game is boring? This is not. This is by far one of the most hyped up matches in the entire series. You're just bored because we're nearing the climax and they haven't scored the goal yet.
Realistically, go read
Ubers
the
was
entire
doing the same
game.
thing. Yes.
Go read the entire game all at once. This is hype.
This is
This
one of
is
the.
like-
This is the best
Right.
match in this
The
series.
first
This is
chapter
the
It's
of
best.
just
this
waiting
game.
week by week is boring.
The first
Yeah.
chapter of this game was hype, bro. It's the
I tell you
reason why
this-
I decided to start doing videos, bro.
If when this gets adapted into the anime, there will not be a more hype moment because you're going to be adapting pretty much 4 chapters a week.
Yeah.
You're going to be adapting a month's worth of content in a single week for an anime. You're going to enjoy that way more. Also, I'll tell you this. Here's my hot take. I think Ubers versus Bastard Munchen is the worst match in the NEL.
Ubers versus Boston Mooch.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, that's
I have
gotta
to
be
agree.
the Batcher.
I think it's below Bastard
the
vs.
Barcher
Barcha.
one.
I think it's
Nah.
below
I've
Bastard
got
vs.
to
Barcha.
Agree.
can't-
Agree.
I can't have that.
I put it like this.
No,
It's not that I didn't enjoy the game, because I enjoyed the game. I just like that I enjoyed Barcha more because Barcha was quick. It gave a solid introduction to Kaiser. It gave a great introduction to Bachata. It gave a great return for Kunigami. It was great for Noah and Lavenho, and it was good for Isagi establishing himself. Like,
and
Ubers was
also-
hype, don't get me wrong, but because Barcha was so short, but they managed to get all of that intensity in such that short amount of time, every chapter was so hype.
I don't know,
think
man.
it
I
was
don't know if I agree
also-
with that still.
I think it was also the perfect introduction towards the whole NEL bidding system, and also at the same time a great introduction towards Blue Lock TV when we found out at the end. I genuinely think Barcher,
Yeah,
for
but
what it was meant
those
to
moments
be,
are hype,
which
but
was
they're not the match though.
no, but it was all part of the match.
Nah,
I
it's
can-
not,
I
it's not
consider-
part of the match.
Listen, I consider the match anything that goes from the beginning of the match to as soon as they're to the next chapter when they're off the field. So I consider Barcha's match arc, quote unquote, to start chapter 159 when Isagi's doing that training thing, and then the end of the chapter when they're walking on the field. I still consider that part of the Barcha match. I consider it over when they're in the locker room. That's when I consider the Barcha match over and the next match arc to have begun. So, like, when they're in the locker room and Yukimiya starts his spiel to Isagi, I consider that the start of the Manshine section. For Ubers, I consider it as soon as they got put off, as soon as Isagi got, actually, no, I think I'm going to put it as soon as we get the values, or the values and they're off the field.
Yeah.
Once
The
both
values is
tasks
the
have been
last
completed,
part
that's
of
when
the
it's over. So, like, when Isagi was with Noah, in the room and he saw Barou's value, that was the end of the Munchen game, and then it began Uber's after that. For this one, it ended on chapter 241, I think it was, just before Ness's backstory. That's where Uber's ended, and that's what I consider the end of Uber's. PXG, I'm considering everything from Ness's backstory beginning all the way to the current chapter. I consider that to be the match. And I think in terms of what I enjoyed the most when reading through the story, I enjoyed Barcha versus Bastard more than I did Ubers versus Bastard. Now it's not a huge gap because I loved both. I just
Yeah.
think because Barcha was shorter, but they managed to get in so much stuff. Every chapter I read had so much enjoyable content that, like, if I were to make a video on this stuff, I can make a whole 8-minute video dedicated to those 10 chapters of content. Minimum.
Okay.
I could make 8 to 16 things. But if I were to do the Ubers game, I could make about the same length, but it would take the whole match.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
the game was more entertaining, I think, for Barcha. I enjoyed the moments more.
Because if you can't establish
Honestly,
a solid
What?
opening,
Do
your arc is
do
gonna
do
suck.
it in order, Lexio. Give us your order then.
Yeah.
worst to best or best to worst?
Worst to best.
Mhm.
Okay, Ubers is the worst. Ubers is amazing. I love Ubers,
Mm.
but the other three matches are all better in my opinion. Next would be by a small margin, as Aero said, Barcha. It set up the NEL as an arc and as a thing in the world so perfectly, in my opinion. It was the greatest intro we could have asked for, and
Yeah.
it
So
deserves
good.
its credit for that.
Yeah.
My second would actually be BM versus PXG, and my favorite match is
Wow.
BM versus Manshine. I love that match.
That
Yeah,
match
yeah.
is really good. I never realized how fast it was when
Ma-
I'm reading
ma-
through it again.
I know.
Like Isagi,
Manshine is my favorite, depending on how the PXG match ends. If the PXG match ends with a hype moment of Isagi scoring, then PXG might take the cake. But
Yeah, if
Manshine is
the
my favorite
final
so far.
moment. Say if this next chapter is the end and it's like really hype, it'll likely take over, but right now
yeah.
Manshine is on top.
Can I tell you why Manshine's so good? Every month there was something huge.
Yeah.
Like in 12 chapters, so in the span of 3 months, we got Planet Hotline, we got Chigity's Goal, we got Royal Copy, we got Nagi Zero Reset Turn and him thinking for himself. We got Metavision. We got Kunigami's Jumping Goal and Isagi's new piece for evolution, like his new formula with Metavision. Kaiser and Predator Eyes reveal and introduction. Nagi and Ray working together again, and Nagi's 5-stage revolver fig volley. That was in a 3-month period. We got all of that.
Yeah,
I don't
great
think a
match.
single match at any point matches that 3-month period. I think the closest thing you could get is Shido's goal to Kaiser's Magnus. I think that's the closest thing you could get. But
Yeah.
even then, the biggest 3 things there were Shido and Charles' introduction, Isagi's twin gun volley, and Kaiser's backstory and Magnus goal. I think that's only really 4 points in that 3-month comparative to the 12 compared to like the 6 or 7 things we got in the 3-month period with Mansion. Maybe I think it was like more like 9 if I want to nitpick some stuff. Like
But yeah, for me, the reason why I love Manshine is simply because Isagi, the hype that Isagi got and the power up that Isagi got in that particular match, and just for him not to score, I think it made it even better. Because you'd think, oh yeah, Isagi's got this new weapon, he's gonna score a goal for sure. And that was literally me every week thinking, yeah, Isagi's gonna score, he's gonna score. But every time Kaiser got in the way, every time whoever got in the way, I just loved it even more. I love that arc, and I love that game simply because you could see the tangible increase, like the you can see how much better Isagi got in that moment, but you didn't need a goal to be able to you know like to like to baby us into it, if I can say that.
yeah. Yoki, you mentioned like Dragon Ball with Goku. Here's the thing. As an outside fan of Dragon Ball, because I don't really care for the series that much. I get the annoying part of like Goku getting a transformation every time. But you know how hype it is to see a transformation or an awakening happen? Like,
Yeah.
especially if you're someone like us who does these kinds of analysis things where we go through the series, we'll notice things in the writing that we didn't originally notice when reading through the first time, and it builds upon itself, which then makes it more enjoyable. Outside fans aren't reading through the entire series again for a video every
Yeah.
week. They're not
Yeah.
going through chapter by chapter finding points like we are, which is why we're able to enjoy these things more because we're reading all of the evidence that builds to these things in the way the author had intended. Like, I would
Mhm.
say that authors don't intend for their story to go week by week. Instead, they intend for it to it releases week by week, sure, but they build to an overarching thing at the end that you
Yeah.
can enjoy as a whole. I feel like that's the point. Like, for manga artists and comic book stories, nobody intends to release plans their story one by one. Their stories like these are not episodic like TV shows are. They're very serialized and they're very like arc oriented, like season based, like other shows. With stuff and I'll give you an example, like the CW shows. They would usually have one-off things, but it would build towards a greater thing at the end of the series, right?
Mhm.
That's kind of what manga and comic book writers have to do. They build towards stuff every week, but then you are made to enjoy it all as a whole afterwards. See all the build up that leads to these things. See all the character development that gets you from point A to point B with these characters. And that's the whole point of these stories. So while you can
I would
say it
like
gets
to.
boring, I encourage you read through the whole arc. Read through the whole arc. I'm calling the whole arc again and enjoy it. That's what I
I would
recommend.
like to quickly say, just to rebuttal what Yogi has said, they're not getting an awakening per chapter. What you are misinterpreting is what is them getting a puzzle piece towards their final awakening, being them awakening. Not everything has been awakening, awakening, awakening. It's been them unlocking a new skill that will help them awaken. Obviously,
Yeah.
we've had a couple awakenings in this match, but it's not been every chapter. That is very over exaggeratory. Exaggeratory.
Exaggerated.
I think they're both words. But yeah, guys, we let's wrap it up here. Um, again,
Yeah.
wonderful stream today, bro. I love the back and forth you guys had with Wise. Um, Wise, my bro, like he knows a lot about the story. He knows a lot about Kaneshiro, in terms of his other works. Um, but yeah, I just knew that there would be clashes, and bro, like I can't lie, I had my notes out. I was writing things down. I was learning a lot. But yeah, man, great
Oh, wait.
conversations.
Last thing I want to ask: what did you guys think about Kaiser's dub actor?
Oh, I've not heard any dubs.
You haven't heard? Oh, we're doing that
Mm,
now.
yeah, go
Oh,
on.
we're doing that now. Hold up. You haven't heard it?
No, I've not heard any dubs.
Really? Okay, we're doing
Do
that
you
right
know?
now.
I don't even know what Isagi sounds like dubbed.
You don't?
Nah,
Okay,
I
you're
I, I only
you
watch
need
subs,
to watch
innit?
the dub. Go watch
Yeah.
the dub again.
Okay.
So Isagi is voiced by Rico Fajardo. He does Mirio in My Hero. Taiju Dr. Stone.
Hmm.
You haven't heard any of them, really? Hold up. How
Bro,
do I share
no,
my screen?
like literally, I
Oh,
just
here we
don't
go.
watch
Here we
dubbed,
go.
innit?
Okay. Okay. Have you heard? Okay, I'm gonna play you the last interaction between Rin and Isagi. All right. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to just
Okay.
listen to this. All right. I need you to listen it. Um, mute the thing on. Can you mute the audio on stream so
On
they
this.
can't hear it because
Okay.
it will get you. I don't want you to get copyright struck.
Let me figure out how. On the stream. 1 sec.
I don't think there's
Should
a
be
way to
here.
mute it without
I know.
muting.
Here, I think I did it. Hold up. Tell me. Here, I'm gonna pull up the stream on my end.
It
And I'll see
might.
it. I'll see if I can hear the. I'll see if I can hear the thing
Okay.
when it plays.
It might be muted on our side here though.
That's the issue.
Could you guys hear that?
No.
No.
Alright.
We might have to listen to it in like our own time.
Wait. Actually, let me see if this affecting only on your end. Oh no, that's just my end. No, I can't see the option here.
We're gonna
Actually,
figure this out.
there's actually a
Okay. Here, let me
section
play
here.
this. Let me play this now and you tell me.
Rin.
Did you hear that?
I heard that.
I heard it. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, so it does come through on your stream.
Which is
We're gonna
To be
figure
fair,
this out.
I'm
kind of
not monetized, so does it really?
I mean, do you care?
No, like I'm not
Okay.
monetized.
All right then. All right, you ready? This is gonna be this is the interaction at the end of season 2 with Rain and Isagi, and then we're gonna get Kaiser's thing at the end.
Okay.
I'll turn it down a bit.
Rin. I thought you should know. Without you, I couldn't have scored. For that play, I was the only one who believed that you'd beat your brother, and it happened.
It's deeper than I
And
thought.
because I learned the mechanism behind luck after losing to you, I was able to take hold of that chance.
You gotta listen to Rain's Destroyer mode.
That goal
Like it's really
was to you
good
too.
how he did his dub.
Okay.
Shut up.
See, Rin sounds like what I thought he'd sound like.
Already. I'll never forgive you for
Yeah.
this. From this moment onwards, you're a rival that I have to destroy.
But do you know what I like?
So don't forget.
I like that with these
I'm going to
dubs,
kill you no matter what.
you can clearly see that Rin is the younger
Yeah.
person,
I'd like to
and
see you
Isagi's
try.
the older one.
Yeah, Matt Shipman does a good job as Rain. And yeah, and here's Ego. You're gonna hear Ego.
What did you think of Blue Lock? I'm curious.
He's voiced by Derek Snow, who does like Shinra in Fire Force.
Poised to kick off a revolution in the world of soccer.
I know he's
sounds
another
good.
stuff.
All we need
I
is
just
your
can't remember
agreement
where
so
else
we can
he's from.
proceed.
But yeah, we're about to get. You better hear what's his face, Kaiser after this.
The world's
This is
best
what my
breakaway
girlfriend's a
with
huge
soccer
Kunigami fan, so when she saw this, like she lost her mind.
I want to see this.
appear.
He doesn't say anything, which sucks. But
Lexio's a huge Kunigami fan.
The Neo-Egoist League is set to begin.
That sounds
yeah, here's
sick though.
here's Kaiser.
I'll make them get on their damn knees. This Blue Lock.
Oh, is that a German accent?
Mm-hmm.
I oh, I don't know why I never imagined.
That's nice.
I actually didn't imagine him having a German accent.
So what people are so he's voiced by Christopher Waitkamp, I think his last name is. I don't want to I don't want to butcher it, but he voices Aizawa in My Hero. So what I'm expecting them to do is that they're gonna do the accent for when they don't have the earbuds, and then they're gonna do it when they do. They're gonna drop the
Right.
accent when they do have them, because what they're gonna do, what they did in the English dub for like the World 5, Isagi and Bachira commented that they couldn't understand what they were saying because of the accents.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the accents and distance. So what they're probably going to do is they'll probably say the same thing for Kaiser and Ness, and then they get the earbuds, and then the accent gets dropped.
Right. Okay.
But
yeah, nah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
dude, I recommend going through and rewatching Blue Lock in the dub.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a more enjoyable experience.
Okay.
Like I've spoken to Loki's voice actor, I've spoken to Nanase's voice actor. We're gonna do an interview with Isagi's in the future.
Ooh.
But Loki's voice actor actually assists on the dubs. Like he's a director for them, and he helped direct a lot of the good scenes. Like he did the dub direction for when Isagi forced Barou to pass.
Yeah.
He voice directed that scene. It was very
Wow.
good. But yeah, Yoki, you're saying it's not for Kaiser, it's not for Isagi, brother. What did you expect Kaiser to sound like? He's German. He's gonna have a German accent. Like, I'm sorry, he's just
Yeah, to be fair, I actually didn't. It never crossed my mind that he'd have a German
Here's the thing.
accent.
I didn't think he was going to, just because I was like, when I spoke to Loki's voice actor, he said that he would have wanted to drop the accent when he did it, just because he would want to play in a way he would want to play the character what's more natural to him, and he doesn't actually have a natural accent.
Hmm.
He just puts it on for the
Yeah.
character. Um, so he's hoping that they do like they drop the accent. So I was expecting them to go no accent. I was expecting them to go with someone like Eric Vall, who does Sanji
Hmm.
for Kaiser. But
Okay.
I'm very happy with who they have. Um, but you don't like Kaiser. You don't see Kaiser sounding like that. So you don't imagine Kaiser having a German accent despite growing up in Germany and being born in Germany and being German and work
Is it?
and
Is
being
it?
on
playing
a
for
German club,
Germany.
playing for
His voice
Germany.
is deeper than I thought it'd be, but we've got to remember Kaiser's what, 19 or something like that.
Yeah, he's 19.
He's like older than most blue lockers.
Yeah, like Aiku's voice is deep, but Aiku's 19 too.
Yeah.
Lorenzo's 19 as well. Sai's only 17. No, he's 18. He just turned 18.
Yeah. Size. Oh, size 18.
But
Okay.
what do you're? Oh, I don't mean his accent. I just mean his voice. But the accent is applied to the voice. Like, what do you mean you don't like the voice, but you
No, I
like the
think it
accent?
means
You
because
don't.
it's deep. I think because I didn't envision Kaiser to have a deep voice either. To be fair.
You expect him to have a high pitched voice? Like,
No, no, no.
who did
I
you
thought I
expect?
thought I thought it'd be akin to like Rins, a bit like Rins.
No, not at all. Like Kaiser is very sadistic, yeah, but he's also very like cutthroat. So you want someone who can express those things, and I feel like I feel like he could do it as well.
I did not.
Obviously, Aiku's not 30. He's in the U20 team.
Well, Lorenzo, look at Lorenzo. Lorenzo does not look like he's 19,
I'm dead.
but yeah,
Nah, it's the other guy. What's his name? The other
Neo.
guy from the U20. Uh,
Neo.
Neo.
Yeah,
Neo. Yeah,
Neo.
Neo. Bro, that guy is not no
Yeah.
U20, bro.
Dude, have you seen them? Do you remember
He's
the
held
moment in the
back.
anime when he stopped Nagi and it cut to Nagi's face and he was just traumatized? Like Nagi felt something poking him.
That guy is not no U20, bro. I promise you that.
Yeah, here. Let me see if I can pull up the exact. Yeah. Look at this moment. This is not some like that. Oh wait, I sent that to my Discord. I need to delete that before we get taken out of context. I sent that to my server. This Nagi looks traumatized. Nagi has never showed that much emotion in his life. I sent it to the general chat. He has never
Oh
shown that much emotion
yeah,
in
yeah.
his life.
This panel looks wrong, bro. This
He is
shot looks
horrified.
wrong.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna call it here because I gotta get my video done. Thank you
Oh,
so much for inviting me.
for sure,
I
man. I'm
appreciate
looking forward to the video tomorrow.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Yeah,
pass tomorrow because I have to get 2 videos done by tonight, and then I'm just gonna
2.
yeah.
Bloody hell. Bro. I've been working on my GA video part 3 for the longest. It's been on my timeline for the longest. I just done the graphics now, so I'm gonna start cutting probably tomorrow.
Bet. See, I do all the writing. I'll do writing, audio, snipping,
Hmm.
and then I'll go through. And as I go through, then I'll start making the graphics as I need them. But
Ah.
like as we were doing our like the stream here, I was going through and I was actively like going writing a script for the video because I haven't even written the script for the second one yet.
Yeah.
So I need to
No,
definitely get on that.
I've you just reminded me because I've got to I wrote a script for my video as well. I've got to do the recording, but I've got all the the what do you call it, the goals already lined up on my timeline. It's just adding
Hmm.
the voice and then adding the graphics, and I should be done by tomorrow if I work well enough.
Bet. All right. Good luck to you, but I gotta go jump on these
Yeah,
videos so
man.
I don't fry my brain anymore.
Yeah, thank you guys for jumping on, man. It's been great again.
Yeah, no
Today's
worries.
Thank
been a
you for inviting
lively
me.
one as well.
Oh yeah, that was something.
But yeah, man. See you guys next time. And
Even-
see you all in the chat. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
Peace.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Who
Yep. Take care.
I
God
guess.
bless.